his ring, and yes, he'll be getting another. Too many turnovers in the front court for the Knicks. Off of a Charles Oakley miscue, it's Damon Stoudemire lifting one to Marcus Camby for the alley-oop off the glass. Camby had his best game yet. Damon Stoudemire had a pretty good game, too, blowing by Charlie Ward, and Toronto led by a dozen early. Patrick Ewing got his points, a nice driving layup. He kisses it off the glass, and the Knicks closed the half on an important 9-0 run. So it was tied at 47 at the half. Evander Holyfield, the new heavyweight champ, enjoying himself. Scotty Brooks enjoying himself. John Wallace with a nice spin move, and the Toronto lead was cut to 3. But John Starks was the key for the Knicks in the second half. He scored 13 of his 27 in the fourth quarter. He forced a turnover from Walt Williams and takes it himself. 78-72, Toronto still leading by 6, and then John Starks cuts that lead right in half. John Starks from three-point range, and the Knicks were on their way. For Camby, it was his best game as a rookie, the 29 points for him. Here, Walt Williams will find him for the stuff and the foul. But it was Camby at the end of the game who had an open three-pointer and could not convert. This would have tied the game and sent it into overtime, but it's not to be. Darrell Walker had to restrain his point guard, Damon Stoudemire, to keep him from the officials. And after the game, Starks and Houston with a little love pat in the tunnel. For the first time in a long time, the Knicks were big in the fourth quarter.
I do believe, as we've struggled a bit in all of our games, really, except for the Charlotte game, is that tonight I thought it was a good sign that we found a way to win, being down 6 going in the fourth quarter, particularly how we went down 6, you know, with that type of, you know, not lucky shot, nothing's lucky, but the tough shot at the buzzer to put us down 6. That could have deflated us, and I thought our guys did a good job in responding.
We just went for it. We didn't call a timeout, you know. We went with our gut feeling, and, you know, Marcus had a shot and he missed it. You know, no big deal, was no confusion.
Did you consider a timeout?
I considered it. Because Damon and I wanted to go for it. And we did. End of story. My guys competed, man. It's not an X and O shit. My guys competed. Simple as that. Knicks are lucky to get out here with a win. You know, I never say anything, but, you know, my guys came and freaking competed up in here, man. As far as I'm concerned, it's a win.
We believed in ourselves. We felt that, you know, once we tied it, that the game was ours. We just had to keep on doing what we were doing. They made a run, but we withstood it and came back.
Patrick Ewing and the Knicks are now at 6-2, a game better than the Magic and Miami. Orlando now going to be without Penny, remember, for at least a couple of weeks with a knee problem as well. A look now at the Knicks starting 5. Here's what we expect to see today. Pretty similar. Larry Johnson, Patrick Ewing in the middle. There's Charles Oakley. And in the backcourt again, it's Charlie Ward and Allen Houston, who was not in the game late in their last game against Toronto. Turning our attention now to Minnesota. Herb Williams gave me 2 keys before the game started. One, they have to get back good on defense. Minnesota positions themselves well, and they're going to try to make the T-Wolves move around a lot. And also, Minnesota blocks a lot of shots, so they're going to be ready for that. And even though he's not playing today, Minnesota is very excited about the prospect of Stephon Marbury as their point guard of the future. This would have been his only trip to Madison Square Garden. He did play here when at Georgia Tech. Remember the duel against Allen Iverson in the preseason NIT. He looked pretty good then, but 6 minutes into the game, the first quarter of his first game, he fell awkwardly, very badly on his right ankle, and that was it for him. He's missed 6 games so far. Today will be his 7th. He suffered a deep sprain of the right ankle opening night against San Antonio. So his numbers are a little thin right now, but he was penciled in on draft day as their point guard of the future, and he is still that. Tom Gugliotta, meanwhile, has been a real bright spot for Minnesota. He's coming off of a game, 30 points and 11 rebounds. We had a chance to visit with the New York native right before we came on the air, and we have a visit with him now, Tom Gugliotta of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Welcome back. This is the MCS Cannon Let Us Show You the Possibility segment, and it's a distinct possibility that Tom Gugliotta would like to have a better game in Madison Square Garden than he has lately. And you're from New York, but you haven't played your best basketball here.
Yeah, thank God I haven't played my best. If that was my best, I'd be in trouble. But, yeah, I have. I think I've pressed every time I've come to the city to play just because of family and friends and really wanting to do well. And over-trying definitely hurts. But today I feel relaxed. I feel like I'm playing well, and go out and have fun.
The one thing that I think about when I think about you is that it seems like you've moved around a lot. And then when I looked, you've only been traded twice. Does it seem like it's been more?
Yeah, well, you know, twice in 1 year, so that was like double, you know. So, but I feel settled now, and I think I've rebounded from the transition. I definitely hurt being traded twice, and I was unsettled for about a year and a half. But I feel comfortable now, and I'm ready to go ahead.
So you feel more settled, you're playing well. You think the Minnesota franchise is a little more settled? I think when Stephon Marbury said this summer, I want to go to Minnesota, I'd love to play there. Was that somewhat of a turning point? Does the franchise feel like they've turned a corner?
I think so. You know, the fact that we have guys that want to be here and take pride of being a Timberwolf says a lot. You know, I think it hasn't always been the case. And it shows. You know, we have a great environment here. Guys want to compete and go out and play every day, and it's fun to play with guys like that.
Do you realize this is the deepest of the season Minnesota has been above 500?
Well, you know, I guess we're proud of that in some respect, but, you know, we're looking for the long-term success, and we realize we're off to a pretty good start, but it is only 7 games, and it's a very long season, and but we feel confident.
All right, one game today, and I know you requested a lot of tickets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do have some family and friends that are coming in, and hopefully I'll put on a good performance for them for once, and we'll come away with a win.
Gugliotta put on a good performance for Flip Saunders' team. The last time they played, it was a win against Dallas. He finished with 30 points and 11 boards. Doug West, the last original T-Wolf, will hit the jumper. The Mavericks losing by 10 in this one. And Stojko Brankovic, their man in the middle at 7-2. We'll see him tonight. He got it done inside in this one. 100-90 is the final for Minnesota. Well, Minnesota's in an unfamiliar place, right behind Houston and Utah in the Midwest standings. This is the deepest into the season that they've been above 500. Last year, they were never above 500. Here's their starting 5. Kevin Garnett, the 20-year-old. There's Brankovic from Croatia in the middle. Gugliotta. Terry Porter is having a nice early season, and the longtime T-Wolf, Doug West. All right, when we come back on MCS Cannon Knicks Game Day, Space Jam. Michael goes to the movies, and a couple of the Knicks go with them. We'll have that when we come back.
MCS Cannon Knicks Game Night is brought to you by MCS Cannon. Let us show you the possibilities. And by your local Chrysler Plymouth dealers.
That isn't the last one, is it?
Yeah, why?
Did I mention that I found the negatives from your bachelor party?
Be a shame if Carla found out about that whole Niagara thing.
Can you say cubic zirconia?
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Room service.
Introducing the New York Knicks credit card from American Express. Call 1-800-KNICKS now and get the only card that gives you savings, service, and great Knick discounts. Get the savings of no annual fee. This low introductory rate for purchases when you pay your bill over time. And American Express service. Plus, discounts at the Garnett restaurants and on Knicks merchandise. A free gift just for using the card. You can even win prizes like a skybox seat to a Knicks game. So apply for your Knicks credit card from American Express. Call 1-800-KNICKS now, because there's just one thing to say about a credit card this great. American Express helps Knicks fans do more.
MCS service and Canon technology. Let us show you the possibilities.
Welcome back. Michael Jordan spent his summer introducing a new cologne, playing a little golf, and he found time to star in a new movie for Warner Brothers with Tweety and my personal favorite Foghorn Leghorn and even Bugs Bunny. A couple of the Knicks make appearances, and we have a sneak preview here on MSG of the new movie just out last night called Space Jam.
On November 15th, Get ready to run.
The Monstars stole the talent from the NBA players.
Get ready to slam.
5 NBA players all suffering from the same mysterious ailment.
Get ready to jam.
But what if we win?
Forgive me. Warner Brothers.
How about we go out and kick some alien butt, huh?
Invites you.
Ready?
To enter a world beyond any you've ever imagined.
Hey, what the?
Nice butt.
Michael Jordan. Bugs Bunny. And the best of the NBA.
Doc, yes. You go to the hole and dominate. We on defense.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa, I don't play defense.
Space Jam, an Ivan Reitman comedy of epic proportions.
Wednesday night here in Manhattan, Space Jam had its New York premiere. Walter McCarty and John Starks made it a night out. Larry Johnson and Patrick Ewing, 2 of the NBA stars that played a part in the movie, they enjoyed their time in L.A.
It was great. It was basically easy because all we did was play ball. The rest of the, these guys here did all acting. We just had to play, and we enjoyed ourselves.
I enjoyed it. It was a great experience for me.
What do you think of all the Space Jam paraphernalia?
I think it's great. Go out and buy some. Oh, yeah. My kids got to have them all. What's up, Tweety?
Most of Michael Jordan's work came against a blank background. The making of this movie was very difficult and a story in itself.
For me, the great challenge was to make the basketball game more dynamic than any basketball fans have ever seen.
For all the basketball fans, it has to be authentic. These characters have to feel as though they're really playing basketball. They really have the skills.
You know, traditionally animation is played like this, back and forth, flat. I thought that we were going to have to use the sort of new digital technology and try to sort of create much more three-dimensional perspectives and effects.
I mean, that was the tough part about it, with out there by yourself, and you had little people in green outfits trying to portray the characters.
And Joe Pica has a very dynamic camera style. The camera's always moving and moving it at angles and things that are kind of difficult to animate to.
We set the technology up so that we could shoot with 3 or 4 cameras, especially when Michael was performing athletically. Because as Michael says, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm only going to do it once. You better get it.
It was a big challenge to animate that stuff because you have these Monstars who Michael's playing basketball against, and they're all 14 feet high, 15 feet high, and they have to look like they can play basketball. Cool shoes.
Ready?
I'm pretty sure when I get the chance to see it all together, I'm going to criticize myself. I'm going to look at myself and evaluate myself as an actor.
You're all washed up,
Baldy. I think he's wonderful in this film. He has a real natural charm. The guy's handsome as the devil. He's got great eyes. And most of all, he's got that inner light that I've seen in the great movie stars that I've worked with. It's that light that sort of shines out there. It makes you believe in him.
Let's play some basketball.
And the movie's actually gotten very good reviews. All right, coming up next on MCS Cannon Knicks Game Night as we work our way to the Knicks and the T-Wolves. Charity basketball game played at the Garden here last night. They were trying to be politically correct. We have the Republicans against the Democrats.
This date in New York Knicks history is brought to you by Tommy Hilfiger, the classic American designer.
November 16th, 1962, Wilt Chamberlain scores 73 points against the Knicks as the San Francisco Warriors defeat the Knicks. Also on this date, in 1993, John Starks helps the Knicks get off to a franchise record 7-0 start, leading the team with 18 points in a victory against Dallas.
This date in New York Knicks history has been brought to you by Tommy Hilfiger, the classic American
game. He had 16 on the night, 35-33 Nets. Then Kenny Anderson slices through the Swiss cheese defense of Ed O'Bannon and Jason Williams. The Nets were still up by 2 at the half. Then Bradley gets blocked by former Yaley Chris Dudley, former Net as well, and that sends Cliff Robinson off on the fast break, and suddenly the Blazers had a 76-68 fourth quarter lead. Bradley missed a shot here, but Jason Williams rebounded it beautifully for 2 and got the foul shot as well to cut the lead to 2, but the Blazers too tough off a turnover. In the scramble, away they come with it. It's J.R. Ryder to Mitchell Butler, and the Blazers win it 93-85.
I did tell him I wasn't happy. I told him after the game, this was a game we should have won. When we have an opportunity to win, we got to win. And this was a chance for us to win, and I told him that.
And yourself, how are you holding up?
I tried to jump off the GW Bridge. There was a motorist that stopped me. Guy jumped out of his car, good man, jumped out of his car and grabbed me by my ankles. And when he found out I was the Nets coach, he said, no, you're going to go through this for a while. Get up here. So, no, seriously, I'm fine. I've got a new son at home. I know this is what I keep looking at as the big picture of this. This is a total restructuring of what we're doing, and there's going to be growing pains, and there's going to be times where we all look at each other like, what is going on here?
John Calipari following his team's 5th loss of the season. Michael Jordan and the Bulls are off to another incredible start, 9-0. That's best in franchise history. They beat Charlotte last night, and they beat them handily, 110-87. All Michael did was score 38. He loves to play on the road, and now he's hanging with Bugs Bunny as well. On the tip, here's Bugs. But before we get to the layup, let's go to the sneakers of Jordan. That's about the only time they hit the floor at the Hornets' nest in Charlotte, with Rodman to rebound, Jordan to run, and then to pick up passes from Rodman. It's looking sickeningly easy for the Bulls already this season. That was the layup from Jordan. Then again, it's Rodman outletting to Jordan for 3. Oh, they make it look so easy. Michael with 38, as Charlotte really never was in it. Anthony Mason had a decent game for the Hornets, but no way they can stop the Bulls. 110-87 was the final. Elsewhere in the NBA last night, Denver wins for the first time since 1989 in Boston. Atlanta 85-77 over Miami. They rule the fourth quarter. Detroit wins by 11. They're off to their best start since the glory days of 88-89. Cleveland beats up on Philadelphia 105-89. Terrell Brandon leading the way, and Indiana knocks off San Antonio 93-78. The Orlando Magic will be without their point guard Anthony Hardaway 2 to 6 weeks because of surgery coming up on Sunday to repair a torn cartilage in his knee. He's been averaging 21 points a game for the team in the first 4 games. He will be missed.
It's going to hurt me, but I'm still going to support my teammates. I know they know that I'm still there in spirit out there on the court, and I have all the confidence in the world in my teammates. I mean, it's going to hurt me sitting over there, and they know that, but I'm still going to support them and wish them well. We thought that it was something that we could just heal, you know, in like weeks' time just by doing the right preparation for it and rehabbing, and that wasn't the case.
As you know by now, Danny Ainge has taken over for Cotton Fitzsimmons in Phoenix. He will make his debut tomorrow as the Suns, who are winless, host the Los Angeles Lakers and Shaquille O'Neal. Coming up next, here on MSG, it's the Minnesota Timberwolves and the New York Knicks. Enjoy, everybody.
MCS Cannon Knicks Game Night has been brought to you by MCS Cannon. Let us show you the possibilities. And by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, who remind you fresh beer tastes better.
Taste that won't fill you up and never let you down. Make it a Bud Light.
In
Introducing the New York Knicks credit card from American Express. Call 1-800-KNICKS now and get the only card that gives you savings, service, and great Knick discounts. Get the savings of no annual fee, this low introductory rate for purchases when you pay your bill over time, and American Express service. Plus, discounts at the Garnett restaurants and on Knicks merchandise. A free gift just for using the card. You can even win prizes like a skybox seat to a Knicks game. So apply for your Knicks credit card from American Express. Call 1-800-KNICKS now, because there's just one thing to say about a credit card this great. American Express helps Knicks fans do more.
When did you stop loving me? How long have I been a memory?
The Nissan Altima, rated the best car in its class for initial quality. Get into a Nissan Altima for just $219 a month with an initial payment of $499 before December 2nd.
The Maglite flashlight is a work of art that works.
A Maglite flashlight is the brilliant gift idea for any occasion.
Square Garden. It's time for New York Knicks basketball. This afternoon, the Knickerbockers host the Minnesota Timberwolves. Coming into today's action, the standings in the Atlantic Division. Knicks sit atop with a 6-2 overall mark. Meanwhile, for the Timberwolves in the Midwest Division, one of the early surprises of the NBA, they are 4-3, including 1-3 on the road so far. And good afternoon, everyone. Along with John Andres, I'm Mike Free, and filling in for Marv Albert. Through the first part of the season, John, so much made about the new faces. But one of the old faces with a new adjustment is John Starks, now coming off the bench. He was spectacular the other night against Toronto.
Yes, the Knicks needed a lift, and Jeff Van Gundy went to the bench. John Starks came off the bench and changed the game. It took him a while, but he changed the game, and he lifted up the Knicks and carried them to victory. What a big second half for John Starks. It started out with a steal from Walt Williams, and then a drive to the basket. Excuse me, that was a three-point shot starting it up, and then Walt Williams gave that ball up to John, who drove it beautifully to the hoop. And then John also, late in the game, with another opportunity to work out of the corner from long range, hit it. Tremendous job for John Starks. I mean, he was sensational picking up the Knicks. 27 points, 13 of them coming in the fourth quarter. Field goal percentage, foul shooting was so reliable. He did it all. The rebounding and assists were there as well. Terrific all-around game for John Starks, proving once again how valuable he is in clutch time.
Now, today's game was supposed to be the homecoming for Stephon Marbury, the talented rookie out of Brooklyn, but he's out with a sprained ankle. He is not even on the trip. But another native New Yorker, Tom Gugliotta, is off to the best start of his career.
Yes, Tom, Mike, is playing at all-star status right now early in this season. People knew he was capable of it, and now it's really happening in his fifth season. Against Dallas the other day, he took a shot from Chris Gatling. I think that really sparked him up because his touch got beautiful from there. Short jump shot, also has the long-range shooting ability, which he shows and has shown all of his opponents over the years. Tom really doing a terrific job shooting that basketball of late. 24 a game, 44% from the field. Foul shooting is solid. Double-figure rebounder. Also is an excellent passer and very defense-minded. Almost 2 steals a game. However, at Madison Square Garden in 7 games of his career, he is not a double-figure scorer. He's had horrendous visits here. Goes back to 92 when he began here with an 0 for 8 from the field. I think a lot of it relates to the fact that he's a Long Island guy, has a lot of fans here and family every time he's here, which is only once a year, and he's been distracted in the past. But the way he's playing now, it looks like it could be a breakout day today.
And perhaps shake that Garnett. Coming up, Knicks try and close out the homestand with a solid win. Try and put 4 quarters together of the opening tip-off coming up when we return. Knicks and the Timberwolves from Madison Square Garden.
Corolla owner why they're smiling? They might just say Toyota quality. Corolla's been a benchmark of Toyota quality for over 29 years. Maybe they love the value. A $189 a month lease with air conditioning, power package, and more. Or the
Right.
These aliens are killing us.
Remind you, fresh beer tastes better. Buy the American Express card. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, American Express helps you do more. Buy Delta Airlines. You'll love the way we fly. Buy Citibank for banking anytime, anywhere, any way you choose. At Citibank, the city never sleeps. And buy Nobody Beats the Wiz Home Entertainment Center. Knicks and Timberwolves this afternoon from Madison Square Garden. Closed captioning is brought to you by Empire Blue Cross and Blue Shield. The best of health. 177th consecutive sellout here at the Garden for the Timberwolves and their lone visit to New York. Right now, let's send it over to PA announcer Mike Wilczewski.
The Timberwolves and your New York Knicks. The head coach of the Timberwolves is Flip Saunders. The assistant coaches Mike Schuler, Randy Whitman, and Greg Ballard. The trainer is Chris Palmer. Now for the Timberwolves starting lineup. At guard, at 6'6" from Villanova, number 5, Doug West. At guard, at 6'3" from Wisconsin, Stevens Point, number 30, Terry Porter. At forward at 6'11" from Farragut Academy, number 21, Kevin Garnett. At forward at 6'10" from North Carolina State, number 24, Tom Gugliotta. And at center at 7'2" from Croatia, number 11, Stojko Vrakovic. Stephon Marbury is injured and will not play. The coaches for your New York Knicks are Chip Van Gundy, Don Chaney, Brendan Malone, Tom Thibodeau, and Jeff Knicks. The trainers, Mike Saunders, Tim Walsh, and Greg Brittenham.
Jeff Van Gundy and his troops hoping to put a full 48 minutes together. Just some injury updates for the Knicks. Patrick Ewing did not practice yesterday, strained a groin, but he is okay. Charlie Ward's bruised buttock getting better by the day. Still a little sore overall, and Allen Houston had twisted an ankle the other night and had to leave for a little while against the Raptors. He's also doing much better.
A lot of injuries in the early NBA this year. Unfortunate news about Iverson separating his shoulder last night for Philadelphia. Hardaway in Orlando going to be out for a couple of weeks now with a knee injury. But the Knicks are shaking off their early minor injuries, so to speak, and looking forward to a solid outing here today.
And of course, as we mentioned, Stephon Marbury, very talented player out of Lincoln High School in Brooklyn. And then Georgia Tech has not played since the first quarter of the first game when he sprained his ankle. He's expected to be back Tuesday. Flip Saunders relying on him to be his starting point guard. Terry Porter taking over that starting nod while Marbury comes back. With Patrick Ewing very close to a milestone, 32 points shy for that 20,000 career mark. Broken all the Knicks records. And Tom Gugliotta used to root for the Knicks as a youngster from Long Island. Good officiating crew on hand today. The veteran Dick Bavetta, one of the very best in the game, Mike Callahan and Tommy Wood.
Basketball fans know that Dick is a local product. And despite the tan, he does emanate from New York. Dick's always got the good tan working.
A rare time Ewing does not win the opening tip. And the Timberwolves in their new road uniforms to start off. That's Terry Porter, the veteran, starting at the point. Gugliotta. Nice feed down low. Garnett with an easy two. And this team no longer a pushover. They're a much improved team, very good defensively. Some nice young stars as the Knicks already with their first turnover on the first possession. Porter pushing it up the floor, has it blocked, picked up by West, feed to Brankovic, and it's quickly 4-0.
Sometimes in the afternoon events, it takes a while to loosen up and get going, and the Knicks have just found that out.
Knicks have had some slow starts this week in the loss to Philly and again to Toronto. And there's the first whistle. Doug West, his first, team's first, so the Knicks to take it out. Just some sluggish starts offensively for the Knicks in these past two home games this week. And of course, turnovers a big part of that.
Yes, the Knicks coming off 24 turnovers the other night against Toronto. That's an area they want to improve on badly.
Allen Houston, nice pull-up jumper, rattles it in. And the Knicks within 4-2. See how Houston starts off after hitting his first jumper. That has not been the case in most games for him. Garnett trying to work on Johnson. That's going to be a fun matchup. Kevin Garnett, Johnson got a piece of it. Oakley the rebound.
Garnett at 6'11". Very tall player, even for Johnson to handle.
Of course, not used to Johnson's physical play as Houston feeds Ewing. Patrick Ewing's first jumper. Garnett the rebound.
Patrick's looking at an opponent, Brankovic, at 7'2".
Brankovic, of course, played with the Celtics a couple of years ago, so he's not a rookie, but has not been in the NBA the past several years. That's Brankovic. Falls down and a travel.
Yes, he was with the Celtics from 90 to 92, a teammate of Kevin McHale, who's now head of basketball operations for Minnesota. And the size is something else. He loses his footing there, unfortunately, and doesn't get hurt at least.
Was never drafted from Croatia, signed as a free agent, and has had a slow start. Although a good shot blocker. Houston off the screen. Johnson calling for the ball with Garnett on him. Now sets the screen. Charles Oakley left open. Oakley a three-pointer. And the Knicks with their first lead, 5-4. So Charles Oakley, second in the NBA in field goal percentage, continues to shoot well. Porter has it knocked away, fight for the loose ball. Brankovic all alone on a nice lefty pass from Porter.
Just shouldn't happen. Shouldn't be able to make a pass from out high to a 7-2 man wide open. Knicks a little slow beneath the foul line with their defensive awareness now.
Knicks down by one. Nearly 3 minutes gone by here in the first. Houston on the baseline. Gugliotta with a piece of it. Garnett the rebound. This team blocked 13 shots in their last game. As we said, much improved defensively. Kevin Garnett. Ewing on the weak side. And the Knicks look to run. Charlie Ward finds Ewing. Patrick Ewing for two.
Patrick got the good look on a nice return pass from Charlie Ward.
So Ewing with his first 2 points. Ward with a little full court pressure. Ward again wincing a bit as he comes out. Notice that when he actually came out for the starting lineups. Hard for that injury to heal while still playing.
Yes, he has that lower back injury that's very painful.
West rattles it in. And the T-Wolves lead it 8-7. 3.5 gone by here in the first. Ewing trying to get position. Nice head fake, draws the foul, and no, they call a travel. Ewing with the extra step.
That's a move that Patrick is used to making as well. And he disagrees with it. We'll take another look at it now. He stops his move, then goes into that skip. And they got him on the initial skip, it appears.
We've seen that so many times, but again, the point of emphasis from the officials this year is Terry Porter misfires. Ewing the rebound, and loose ball foul against Minnesota.
Mike, that's the kind of call I just feel shouldn't be made. I mean, it didn't affect Ewing at all. Brankovic was behind him. It just stops the action.
We've seen early in games this year not only that point of emphasis on all the traveling calls, but they've called the game much tighter. Certainly against Philadelphia the other night. A lot of whistles early. Johnson, strong move to the basket, draws the foul. It won't drop, but he'll get 2 free throws. So Larry Johnson with his first attempts from the line. Gugliotta picks up his first foul. As Ward continues to learn as the starting point guard, although that may not last much longer. Chris Childs perhaps coming back on Tuesday in Orlando.
But Charlie's been put in a position of a rapid growth pattern because of all his playing time early in the season. It's been a tremendous break for him, having participated in the breaking of Chris Childs' leg. But Childs will be happy to get back, and I'm sure Charlie will be happy to come back off the bench now for the Knicks and take a good look at the action, and it'll undoubtedly make him even more effective.
Johnson 1 of 2 from the line. We're tied at 8. 7.5 remaining in the first. Garnett now posting up Ewing. Quick shot from Kevin Garnett. Johnson on the reverse side on the rebound. Feed down low. And those are the type of turnovers that Jeff Van Gundy's been upset with. That's a very difficult pass to get in there.
Yeah, very hard pass to catch. That was the home run attempt by Larry Johnson.
Third Knick turnover. Game tied at 8. Just over 7 minutes remaining. First quarter. Porter hung up. Garnett no cleat. Porter lost it. Charlie Ward comes up with it. Crowd a little quiet early on here. Ewing again isolated, wants the ball, calling for it. And now Larry Johnson's turn. Shot clock down to 8. And illegal defense called against Minnesota, their first. And we'll have our first time out. 6:40 remaining. First quarter, Knicks and T-Wolves all tied at 8.
The best of the best. How do I know we get the job done right? Because I own this shop. And that's the way we do business here.
Thank you, ma'am. Come back to see us.
We keep America running. We keep America running.
We have a quiet start for both teams now in the first quarter. Now it's time for a look at the Marriott Marquis Skycam. Knicks defense. Helping defense. Very important to successful defensive teams. Charlie Ward will come in and help out inside. Come out against Porter and shock Terry Porter into coughing that ball up. At the other end, Larry Johnson trying to thread the needle with this very difficult pass that goes awry. Jeff Van Gundy doesn't want thread the needle type passing. The New York Marriott Marquis, Broadway's biggest hit.
Game tied at 8. Larry Johnson kicks for Ewing. Patrick Ewing jumper working early. Ewing now with 4 points, and the Knicks lead 10-8.
So much better when Ewing gets that shot with a little time to line up that jumper.
And Johnson, so unselfish. I've always heard that, John, but really seeing it firsthand. Doug West, nice shot on a pretty feed from Gugliotta.
Knicks getting hurt inside now by the T-Wolves.
Ward trying to create. Charlie Ward, wild shot. Won't come, but he'll shoot 2. As Charlie Ward, very good at drawing the fouls when he drives inside.
Charlie putting that ball on the floor, changing the pace. You can see when Charlie gets around the basket, he can find a way to get that shot up. Charlie coming off a terrific effort the other night against the Raptors. Played a season-high 39 minutes. Only took 6 shots, but made half of them. Excellent at the foul line. 13 points, 11 assists. Real good point guard play.
And he struggled with Stoudemire for the first half. Stoudemire had a big first half. Fourth quarter defense, Charlie Ward, magnificent. Stoudemire was invisible in that fourth quarter.
You know, it's so hard to guard a guy who takes a third of the team shots. That's what Stoudemire did. He took 25 of the team's 75 field goal attempts.
Ward hits 1 of 2. Knicks by 1. All 5 Knicks starters have scored. And the foul call against Charlie Ward. That'll be his first. Team's first. A little bit of a sluggish start, not only for the players but the fans. This place is very quiet, John.
Yes, they're waiting for some fast breaks as Gugliotta shows he can make a jump shot at Madison Square Garden.
4th in the NBA in scoring at 24 per game. And a whistle away from the ball. Vrankovic has picked up his 3rd personal. So he will quickly go to the bench. So Dean Garrett, the former Indiana star, who's actually a rookie, was a member of the Hoosiers '87 national championship team, played 6 years in Italy, his first year in the NBA. And Ewing will shoot a couple as the T-Wolves already over the limit with 5:38 remaining here in the opening quarter.
For some players coming out of college, even at a high level, it suits them and their game better to start out in Europe. And it's really to an advantage because you can still develop your game, make very good money. Here's Vrankovic on the bench now, not happy about coming out of the game so early. Slams that towel down. That was Jerry Seasting, the former Celtic, now assistant coach, who sat down next to him.
Ewing goes 1 of 2. Knicks 3 of 6 from the line early on. Game tied at 12. 5.5 to play first quarter. Johnson on Garnett. Ward trying to help out there. Terry Porter. Nice head fake. Draws the foul. And Terry Porter will shoot a couple. A little experience showing there from Terry Porter. Porter now 33 years old.
Terry Porter unable to break down the defense, but the assortment of fakes got him the foul. Terry's been doing a nice job filling in for Marbury. He started 7 games, 7 of 8 games. 12-year veteran in the NBA, a real solid person, a leadership type guy. Told me before the game he hopes to play another 2 years.
See Ward going down, excuse me, John, with 2 fouls, so Scott Brooks comes in.
Terry's saying he knows he has, as an NBA player, the best job in the United States.
A lot of those veterans start appreciating it when they get up to 32, 33. He had a couple of all-star years, a few times to the NBA Finals with Portland. Off the free throws, Knicks trail by 2. 5:15 remaining, first quarter. Houston and West. Ewing solid screen. Good ball movement from the Knicks, but also good rotation from the T-Wolves. Scotty Brooks, feed for Ewing. Couple of head fakes, shot. It's good. Good patience from Patrick Ewing, who has 7, and the game tied at 14. And a turnover. Porter not expecting it, although he felt that Scott Brooks had a good arm in his back on that one.
Immediately Porter posting up, or trying to post up on the shorter Brooks, but bad exchange of the basketball by the Timberwolves.
Brooks a downright pest on defense. Houston against West. Nice pull-up from Allen Houston. And Houston now with 4 points. As the Knicks have made their last 4 shots, they lead by 2.
The threat of the drive made West get way ahead of Houston, and then he stops quickly and gets a good look at the basket.
16-14, Knicks in front. Good defense from Larry Johnson. Ewing in the weak side rebound. Brooks looking to break. Bad pass from Houston, but the Knicks hold on. Johnson drives underneath. Nice reverse, won't go in. Ewing keeps it alive, but he'll be called for a loose ball foul.
And the T-Wolves will take over. First foul on Ewing. You know, Larry Johnson, John, has handled everything well. As you see, Ewing disappointed in that play. His unselfish play when he didn't play in the fourth quarter the other night. Said, hey, we won the game. That's all that's important. As Porter goes coast to coast.
That's right. He said he was happier leaving the Garden the other night with a win, despite having his own personal down kind of game, than he was in the prior game. Larry Johnson had a big game with 28 points earlier in the week against the Sixers.
Doug West, by the way, after that field goal, as Scotty Brooks throws it away. Doug West off to a good start. 3 for 3 from the field. Game tied at 16. And concern on Jeff Van Gundy's face again by the sloppy passing. Porter obviously trying to work on Brooks. Oakley goes to help and throws his shoulder in there to pick up his first 14th foul. Minnesota will take it out. I love it. He's still one of the very few who puts his arm up when he commits a foul.
He's a well-educated hoopster.
Absolutely. Of course, when he feels it's a bad call, the hand stays down. West pass inside, stolen by Oakley. Here come the Knicks at 3-on-2. Nice feed down low. Larry Johnson banks it in.
Charles Oakley anticipated that pass beautifully.
Knicks by 2, 18-16, just under 3 minutes remaining. First quarter. West fires. Doug West 4 for 4 from the field. And the game tied again at 18. West reborn this season. Perhaps his worst year in the NBA last year. As Ewing rifle pass to Houston, can't connect. Johnson kept it alive, but Dean Garrett comes up with a rebound. Just under 2.5 remaining. Opening quarter.
Timberwolves are trying to get low post play, trying to get their forwards into it with an assortment of picks as a pick and roll, and Gugliotta chooses not to roll.
And there's a 24-second violation. Gorgeous defensive play from Johnson on a nice block. 2:07 remaining. First quarter. Knicks and T-Wolves still even.
Larry Johnson all over his man. Larry going up and doing something that's very difficult to do, and that is block a jump shot. Larry Johnson, after scoring 28 points in a loss Tuesday against the Sixers, then having 2 points in Thursday's game, said, I lost the other night and won tonight, so you're darn right I'll take this. He went on to further say he went home happy Thursday night with that victory.
And you know what? He means it. There are a lot of guys that say it but don't mean it, but he really means it. He is without question the guy that wants to win an NBA title, does not care about individual honors. Charles Oakley, 20-footer. And Charles Oakley again from outside. He's 2 for 2. And the Knicks with the 20-18 lead. James Robinson has come in for Terry Porter at the point. Robinson playing the backup point with Marbury out. In fact, he's played most of the fourth quarter minutes. Gugliotta knocked away from Oakley. Ball still loose. And Doug West did a good job getting it back. Look at Oakley work on D. Forces up the shot. And let's see what the call is for Mike Callahan. Before the shot, I believe. It's on Scott Brooks. And that'll be Brooks's first. And the Knicks over the limit, so 2 free throws coming up.
And how about Gugliotta handling that basketball at 6'10", Mike? He can go behind the back and very comfortable putting the ball on the floor. Now he's at the foul line.
You're talking to some of the Minnesota people, as we mentioned earlier, he's had some really horrible games here at the Garden. He has a lot of fans coming. He does all the interviews prior to the games, and they talk about homecoming, and he says, and I go out and play miserably. And that's certainly way below his normal numbers, especially the shooting.
There it is. Those career numbers are 16 points a game, but this year, as we talked about at the Open, he's way above that, 50% above that at 24 a game.
He's got 4 points as we have our 7th tie, and a kick ball, so they'll reset the clock. He's got 4 points, 3 assists. He's hit his only shot, so certainly much better than in the past.
I remember that first game he came in when he was with Washington. I think he might have been 0 for 10. Missed his first 10 shots.
The first time he played here. Yes, I think it was 0 for 8 actually, Mike.
42, Sam Mitchell is in the Timberwolves. He replaces Kevin Garnett.
So Garnett will come out. Sam Mitchell, who wasn't scheduled to play, had sprained an ankle. He comes into the game. Patrick Ewing just went back to the Knicks locker room. Well, it looks more like a nature break than anything else. None of the trainers accompanied him. Starks also in for the first time. Buck Williams sets a screen. Little head fake. Starks fires. No good. Mitchell the rebound. T-Wolves look to push it up. Game tied at 20. Just over a minute remaining. First quarter. Good double team on Robinson. Oakley with help, and Robinson stepped out of bounds. Charles Oakley was at a terrific first quarter on defense.
Charles loved that too. Waving that hand around after he helped force that turnover.
That's really a triple team when you double up a guy with a sideline. Starks for Oakley. Charles Oakley, two-pointer. And Charles Oakley 3 for 3 from outside. The Knicks back up by 2.
He's banged one in from the deep corner on each side of the basket.
One of them a three-pointer. And 7 points for Oakley. James Robinson from three-point range. T-Wolves back up by 1. 23-22. Half minute remaining here in the first. Pace picking up just a little bit. Brooks trying to get away. Good defense from Robinson. Scotty Brooks now kicks it out. Starks. John Starks to fall away. In and out. Quickly out of the rebound.
John has brought that confidence from Thursday night here to the Garden on Saturday. He's taken a couple of very difficult shots.
Shot clock turned off. Final seconds here in the first quarter. Oakley again helping out. Tom Gugliotta. Three-pointer won't go. Garrett tries to tip it. And there's the buzzer ending the first quarter. So the T-Wolves come in, play well. And the Knicks trailing by 1. 1 quarter complete at Madison Square Garden. Knicks trail 23-22.
Man, nothing like a new pair of Nike Turf trainers.
Yeah, you know Steve Young works out in the Air Zoom Fly.
Oh, can that guy hustle? All right.
Toronto, Starks excelled. First man to greet him in the tunnel is Allen Houston. And the camaraderie on this team has been very strong right from the beginning of training camp, John. Has not been strong here in the second quarter as Ewing turns and shoots, cannot connect. Knicks have yet to score here in the second. We played nearly 3.5 minutes. Sam Mitchell. Wallace the weak side rebound. Knicks 0 for 3 with 5 turnovers here in the second quarter.
Knicks looking to get something going here. You can see Allen Houston with the fall-away jump shot. He did it all by himself. Starks spreading it out, going to the big man, Ewing down low.
Starks, nice give and go. Lefty layup, and it goes in. Pretty two-man game from Ewing and Starks. And the Knicks trail by 8. Ewing kept that alive, tipping him the offensive rebound to himself. And Wallace called for the reach-in. Second team foul, first on Wallace.
Nice give and go play with Captain Ewing and Starks. Take a Marriott look at the ball going into Ewing, and Starks hesitates as his man kept his focus on Ewing, went right down for that layup. That was 4 minutes and 55 seconds between Knick points, so they're looking to come out of that slump.
Robinson can't connect. Garnett is going to be called for the loose ball foul. Cliff Saunders upset. A little bit of a late whistle, I think he's claiming. And Garnett picks up his first team foul. Saunders, 7 years coaching in the CBA. Won a couple of CBA titles. Talk about paying your dues.
Yes, he replaced Bill Blair last December.
Knicks down by 8, and a whistle away from the ball. As Ewing trying to position himself down low. Garrett called for the personal. That'll be his first. Knicks to take it out. He played at the University of Minnesota with Kevin McHale. McHale likes to keep around some old friends, doesn't he?
Yes.
Played with Rankovic in Boston. And some of his old high school buddies on the team soon.
Yes, there's a comfort zone with old friends.
Caleb, of course, the
works
GM.
in a lot of situations in life, you know.
I would agree, John.
Ewing against Garrett. Kicks it out. Houston wide open for three. That one halfway down. Deflected out of bounds. And it's going to be Timberwolves ball. Houston had a good look. Just wouldn't go down. Well, he is so due to have like a 9 for 11 game from the field. Just has not had a consistent effort yet shooting-wise, but he hasn't let it affect the rest of his game. Robinson, strong move to the basket, lost control. Sam Mitchell off the dribble. Wallace the rebound. Knicks trail 32-24. Starts with a left hand, wanted to draw the foul. A lot of contact, and here comes Minnesota.
Like John heard it, one of the Timberwolves.
What a block from Wallace! And Buck Williams comes up with a loose ball. Ewing down the other end. Garnett on a goaltend, and credit to him for Patrick Ewing. Sensational block from Wallace.
At the other end also, Garnett was punished by Starks on that layup attempt. Let's take a look at the Wallace play, however. Beautiful block. Boy, strong. Strong denial by Wallace.
That gets the crowd going a bit. Knicks down 6, 32-26, and then Garnett on the goaltend. Nice head fake from Garnett. While the first layup didn't have a lot of room. Garrett gets the offensive rebound. Carr for three. Garrett again, and he's fouled on the way up. So Dean Garrett will shoot two. They call a foul on Allen Houston. That's his first. Charlie Ward comes back in. And Stark sits down. So Dean Garrett will go to the line. Garrett 5 points off the bench, playing a lot because Brankovic with foul trouble. And he hits the first free throw. Garrett last year playing in Greece, one of the leading shot blockers in the Greek league. And it's the free throws. Knicks down by 8. They've trailed by as many as 10. We're almost midway through the second quarter. Ewing gets the double. Give and go to Buck Williams. Beautiful feed. And the Knicks trail by 6. Ewing with some nice assists here in the first half. Hand check foul called on Wallace. 14 fouls, second on Wallace.
Knicks have tightened things up, though, inside the foul line. Timberwolves were getting some easier hoops in the opening minutes of this game, first quarter, but now it's become a lot more difficult for them inside as the Knicks have come together.
Gugliotta has come back in from Minnesota. Garnett, Wallace fighting for position. They lob it in. Garnett triple team, spins away. Buck Williams the rebound.
Ewing came over and helped out beautifully with a quick rotation on that lead pass into Garnett.
Strong move from Ewing, draws the foul on Garrett, and Patrick Ewing will shoot two with 5:26 remaining, and the Knicks trailing by 6. Second foul on Garrett.
At the other end, lead pass into Garnett over Wallace, and then Ewing is right there to close things down. Garnett stays with the move, though, and the Knicks get the rebound.
Ewing connects on the first one. Doug West will come back in. And Chris Carr goes to the bench. West, the former Villanova star. So Ewing off to a good start here in the first half. However, misses the free throw. Knicks 4 of 8 from the line. Pretty much feast or famine. They either have superb games from the line or struggle. 34-29. Knicks down by 5. Give and go. Gugliotta to Robinson. And an offensive foul. Patrick Ewing stood his ground.
Robinson trying to make something happen, and he did.
You remember a couple of years ago when Robinson was with Portland. As you see Ewing with some solid defense here.
Robinson committing to the move, and Ewing analyzed it properly and got there ahead of him.
I remember he had a jam over Ewing several years back as Houston. Three-pointer won't go. Garrett the rebound. Was as spectacular a dunk as you can imagine. Gugliotta, 2-pointer. Charlie Ward will track down, head down to Ewing. Ewing underneath, misses the jam. It was a little too far from the basket, although he's claiming that he was pushed. Knicks down 5. Garrett with Ewing in his face. Can't connect. Wallace gets the rebound. T-Wolves have missed their last 9 shots. Ward pushing it up the floor. Bad decision, the turnover. Robinson to West. He's fouled and one. Doug West with a chance for a three-point play. And the Knicks down by 7 again.
Timberwolves pushing the ball up court. Robinson leading the way this time. He gives that ball up. And the Timberwolves get a nice play on the finish by Doug West. That's giving the ball to the man just at the right moment. West now 5 for 5, 10 points, and a chance for a three-point play. Oakley's come back in with Johnson, so it's Oakley, Johnson, Ewing, Houston, and Ward. I think Sean Elliott's story of his life could be played by Doug West, you know?
Absolutely.
They look alike, don't they? And free throw no good, vice versa.
I think Elliott's probably more established, so I think West will have to play Elliott. West, his movie will be a TV movie. Elliott's will be a motion picture.
Very good.
Ward penetrates. Ewing on the wing. Has a lot of time. Can't get it to go. Johnson keeps it alive. Back out Ward. Knicks again. Patience. They trail by 7. Johnson and Garnett down low.
All stationary on the offense. It's become a one-on-one situation. And Larry Johnson's call for a traveling violation. But the Knicks are still looking for a flow on the offensive end of the court as Jeff Van Gundy renders his feelings about that call.
That's the most upset I've seen him this year on the sidelines, at least at the officials. Lob down low. Garnett can't get it to go down and gets his rebound. Stays with it. Gugliotta from 2. And Houston may have gotten a piece of that one. Knicks down by 7, just under 3.5 to play, second quarter. Then a sluggish start for the Knicks offensively. Johnson left-handed. Garrett the rebound. Oakley tries to save it, but can't. And it's Minnesota ball. Typical Charles Oakley dive to the floor.
Larry Johnson going left, gets a good shot off, just doesn't go down. Charles Oakley competing on the boards. He hits the floor. And the floor is used to it.
Ward hounding Porter. Gugliotta picks it up. Oakley right there. Excellent defense again from Oakley, who's hollering at Mike Callahan. He felt the foul should have been called. Ward drives underneath. Ewing finds Houston. Wide open. Three-pointer, no good. And a whistle. Johnson and Gugliotta with some pushes. Johnson whacks Gugliotta in the head. And Dick Bavetta quickly to break it up. We're going to have a timeout as the officials quickly separate. Dick Bavetta telling everyone to go to the benches.
That might go back to the other end when Gugliotta had his arms entangled with Oakley, who complained to the official, and Larry Johnson maybe came to the rescue, or his version of it.
So
2:35 remaining, second quarter. Knicks trailing by 7. And some technicals and personals handed out after some exchanges. It started at this end with Gugliotta and Larry Johnson.
See Charles Oakley chastising the official, and at the other end, Houston. And you can see Larry Johnson blocking out Gugliotta. He didn't like it. They get into a pushing match. And they keep going. Dick Bavetta jumps in, plays the role of the referee. And now we have double personals, double technicals. And Larry Johnson cools off quickly, and while he's at it, makes a new friend.
Official Tommy Wood, no possession on that, so they'll jump it at center court. Any two can jump in this case. Johnson and Gugliotta both stay in the game. Johnson's 3rd technical this season. Knicks down by 7, 2.5 to play, second quarter. The shooting here in the second has been terrible. And now you're going to see the play, at least the calls, tighten up a little bit as Dean Garrett called for a hold. That's his 3rd, 4th on the T-Wolves. Knicks will take it out.
Cherokee Parks will come in. Garrett will sit down with the 3 fouls. Parks, the former Maverick, who has had a difficult time adjusting to the NBA and the physical play. Former Duke star.
And he has the misfortune of dealing with Patrick Ewing right away.
Charlie Ward, wide open 3. Charlie Ward knocks it down. And the Knicks are within 4. Allen Houston setting that up nicely with a little penetration and dish. Just over 2 minutes remaining, first half. Porter to Parks, and a travel. He shuffled his feet. It has not been an offensive classic.
No, it's been a very sloppy game at both ends.
9 turnovers for Minnesota, 11 for the Knicks. Ward finds Johnson. Allen Houston knocks it down. Houston now with 6 points. Knicks within 2. Now that's good ball movement. 36-34. T-Wolves have led by as many as 10. Crowd with chance of defense. West leans in. Ewing with the block and grabs the board.
Very aggressive play by Ewing, reading that play nicely.
Ward wants to get it down low to Johnson. Now Garnett is on Johnson. Knicks on the 12-4 run.
There's a clear out now for Larry Johnson, who goes to the side jumper and hits it.
Game tied at 36 and a 22nd timeout for Minnesota. Knicks on a 14-4 run, and that gets many in the crowd on its feet.
Knicks have really stepped it up defensively. They've gotten so much tougher. They're addressing their men stronger, helping out much more into the basket area. Now doing a better job in the last couple of sequences at the offensive end as well. Patrick Ewing will read this move. Attempt by West beautifully, goes out and sends that shot back and also recovers the shot. And Larry Johnson with the fake drive hits that soft jump shot. Knicks are really into it now after some skirmishing. The toughness level has gone up and their play has lifted up to a much more effective level.
And they've overcome a 10-point deficit to tie it at 36 with just over a minute remaining here in the second. Porter racing it up. Now Terry Porter drives. Nice move from Porter and a foul. And a chance for a 3-point play. Oakley picks up the personal, and that's his second.
Terry Porter with a very strong body going in, working on Charlie Ward, trying to overpower him. Very, very difficult shot by Porter, but he hits it.
Now in his 12th year in the league.
His first 10 years with the Portland Trailblazers.
Misses the free throw. Some horrible shooting here in the second period. Knicks down by 2. 46 seconds remaining in the half. Ewing against Parks. Quick move and draws the foul. Cherokee Parks has no chance one-on-one against Patrick Ewing.
Ewing is looking physically so mobile, as you see on this play, with a much younger player who just can't stay with him. Good look inside. Ewing in a one-on-one matchup. Knicks had cleared out the side, so no double teaming could come Ewing's way defensively.
First free throw. Well short. Ewing now 2 of 5 from the line. He's got 10 points, 8 rebounds, and a couple of nice assists. The one problem as he gets closer to 20,000 career has been the free throws this afternoon.
It would be nice for Ewing to enjoy the home reaction to, when he gets to 20,000.
Because if he doesn't get it today, he'll get it on the road, because Knicks go on a 3-game road trip. Knicks down by 1. There you see the time remaining, second quarter. Mitchell called for travel, and that's the call that the officials really focusing on. They've really cleaned that up through the first 7-8 games of the season. Want to remind you, as Mitchell goes to the bench, coming up, the Tri-State Jeep and Eagle halftime report. John chatted with Ernie Grunfeld
earlier. And, of course, highlights from the first half with Deb Kaufman and Clyde. 20 seconds left here in the first half. Houston trying to get away from a double team. Garnett with the steal. Flips it ahead to Porter. Terry Porter spots up. Three-pointer for Porter. And it's a 4-point Knick deficit. Shot clock is turned off. Houston splits defenders. Down low, Larry Johnson. Nice feed, and he banks it in.
Beautiful ball handling and judgment by Allen Houston.
Porter now, final seconds. Throws it across. West heaves it up with a buzzer. And it won't go. And that will end the first quarter. Knicks start slowly, but finish up strong in the second. And of course, the end of the first half. A strong finish in the second quarter for the Knicks and Patrick Ewing. So halftime at Madison Square Garden. The Timberwolves 41 and the Knicks 39. Plenty coming up on the halftime report. Highlights with Deb Kaufman and Walt Frazier. And we'll talk with Ernie.
Starts helps the Knicks get off to a franchise record 7-0 start, leading the team with 18 points in a victory against Dallas.
This date in New York Knicks history has been brought to you by Tommy Hilfiger, the classic American designer.
The Knicks went on a little run there at the end of the first half and are somewhat fortunate to only be down by 2. Not a pretty half of basketball. For more on the first half, let's go now to Mike and John.
Thank you, Deb. Certainly, as we look at our Toyota matchup, Knicks hoping to improve on the numbers. Allen Houston, 3 of 9 from the field, 6 points. Did have 4 nice assists. Again, not letting his poor shooting affect the rest of his game. Doug West, very hot, 5 of 7 for 10 points and 2 assists. And for some more first half numbers, as we mentioned, not a great offensive first half for either team. The defense, very solid. The Knicks shooting 49%. The T-Wolves 40%. 4 free throw shooting by the Knicks.
Tell you something impressive, Mike, is that the T-Wolves have been allowing their opponents 41% from the field throughout the season. The Knicks at 49% were not held down as other opponents have been in an impressive start for the Timberwolves this season.
That defensive stat for Minnesota, they're 5th in the NBA in field goal percentage defense. As you see, the rebounding is fairly even. And the turnovers, again, have really hurt the Knicks. 12 in the first half.
Yeah, sloppy half of both teams handling the basketball. Both coaches are hoping that they will see a much different output here in the third and fourth quarter of this game.
So Houston and the Knicks come out, same 5 that started. Houston, Ward, Ewing, Oakley, and Larry Johnson. And for the T-Wolves, Terry Porter, Kevin Garnett, Tom Gugliotta, Brankovic, and Doug West. Stojko Brankovic played limited time in that first half, just 6 minutes, because he had 3 fouls. Crowd continues to mill about this matinee affair. And Charlie Ward brings it up for the Knicks to start the third. Again, Stephon Marbury not here with the T-Wolves. He's been out past several games with a sprained ankle. Johnson operates against Garnett. Nice head fake. Flips it up there. Shot won't go. Garnett gets the rebound.
Did a good job of making Johnson stretch out even further away from the basket than he wanted to.
As you mentioned, Garnett at 6'11", long arms. A good defender. They claim that he's actually about 7 foot now. He's still growing. He's only 20 years old. Nice turnaround jumper from Garnett. Says, though, he doesn't want to be listed as 7 foot. He's afraid that Flip Saunders will play him at center.
That thin frame isn't ready for the beating that he'd get at center. Meanwhile, Flip Saunders said if there's any forward in the NBA playing better defense than Garnett, he said, I'd like to see who that is. They really are proud of his defense.
Houston cans the wide open 3. Set up nicely by Ward, and the Knicks within 1.
Boy, for a man at his age, coming from high school to the pros in his second year, to be cited for his defensive excellence is amazing.
Nice feed to Gugliotta, stripped down low, and the Knicks come out with a steal. Oakley once again in the midst of a nice defensive play. Ewing wants to go at Brankovic. Quickly got him in foul trouble in the first half. Ewing, the jumper. Johnson knocks it out, and it's going to be Minnesota ball. 43-42, Knicks down by 1. T-Wolves led by as many as 10 in the first half. Knicks got off to a slow start, but finished strong in the second quarter. And an offensive foul, Gugliotta, as he leveled Ward on a screen. That's going to be the third on Gugliotta.
Gugliotta, or Googs, as his teammates call him, moved right into Charlie Ward, committing that offensive foul.
A little bit of a thrust with the arm and shoulder. 43-42. Knicks down by 1. 2 minutes gone by in the third. Charlie Ward's three won't go. And Garnett gets the rebound. Garnett with 5 boards. He's done an excellent job on the boards for them. Johnson on Gugliotta. Garnett from the baseline. Nice soft touch from Kevin Garnett.
And quickly executed. That's a dynamite pair of forwards that's going to be a very, very big factor in years to come. Gugliotta and Garnett. 6'10", 6'11 forwards who have the mobility and commitment to defense that both these guys do.
6 points for Garnett. Houston, 5 on the shot clock. Pulls up. Nice jumper from Allen Houston. And the Knicks again within 1.
See, play like that does everything to make Ewing's life easier. When the defense can't focus on him, it just makes him so much tougher. What a drive by Gugliotta.
Count the basket and the foul. A little off balance, felt the contact, and wisely put it up. Oakley with his third personal.
Gugliotta, 6'10", moving well. Stopped by Oakley. Then he goes to that off-the-shoulder one-handed delivery, and he was on target. Tom Gugliotta has led his team in scoring in every game this season. That's amazing.
And as we mentioned, 5th in the league at 24 per. Hits that free throw. And Gugliotta now with 9. Having one of his better games here at Madison Square Garden. 48-44. Knicks down 4. Just over 3 minutes gone by in the third.
Charlie Ward trying to beat Terry Porter.
And this one against the Knicks, a 3-second violation. 13th turnover. So the veteran Porter again.
Porter played 14 minutes in the first half, had 3 assists.
Gugliotta against Oakley. Nice move. Reverse layup won't go. Johnson the rebound. Knicks look to break. Knicks did not get a lot of fast break opportunities in the first half. Oakley can't connect. Ewing battles for the board. Ball tipped. And Porter comes away with it. Gugliotta down low. Garnett. Little hop step. Quick jumper. Ewing battles and tips it to Oakley.
It's trying to get more transition motion out there to get some easy baskets.
They haven't had a lot. As we keep mentioning, Minnesota's a good defensive team. Larry Johnson, nice shot with Garnett right in his face. And the Knicks pull within 2.
Johnson and Houston a much bigger factor here in today's game than they were in the game the other night against Toronto.
9 points for Johnson. He's 4 of 7 from the field. Garnett again with a turnaround. Ball knocked loose. Frankovic. And he gets his first 2 points. Check that. 6 for Frankovic. First 2 points here in the third quarter. Johnson, quick spin move underneath. Tries to draw the foul and cannot. Ward tries to save it. Ewing picks it up. Ewing to Johnson. And he's fouled. Good second effort from Charlie Ward. Keeps it alive. And Larry Johnson will shoot 2.
Nice pass by Ewing, too. He didn't force the move for himself while giving it up to Larry Johnson.
4th foul on Frankovic. And Johnson to the line.
Larry Johnson looked like it'd be a layup till he ran into the 7-2 Brankovic. Then Ewing drives to the basket but flips it over to Larry Johnson, who draws the foul.
Johnson, who's been inconsistent at the line so far this season, misses the first. Knicks now 5 of 11 from the free throw line today.
Just amazing how a guy who's first 5 years in the NBA made his foul shots at a 77% average is struggling. So
there's a little bit of a hitch in that free throw. He's always had a little one. Just seems a little more pronounced right now as he gets the second. Knicks down 3, 50-47. Gugliotta setting a screen, Oakley helping out on D. West had a strong first half. Gugliotta against Oakley. Foul. Shot won't go. Oakley not happy with that call. And this is one time he's not going to raise his hand. That's the 4th foul on Oakley. Yeah, we'll have timeout. 6:59 remaining. 3rd quarter from Madison Square Garden. Charles Oakley and the Knicks down by 3.
We've all got
3 here in the 3rd. Allen Houston with 11 points, 5 of 11 shooting. So much made about Houston's struggling shooting the ball early. But Houston keeps talking about there's a lot of other strong points to his game.
I think too much emphasis is put on, shooting and this and that. I've always been one to try to do a lot of different things besides just shoot the ball. So, everything that I do is just trying to help the team, whether it's shooting, passing, defense, and that's just one of the things that I can help do to make this team win.
And he has 5 assists today, 6 last game.
Allen Houston putting the ball on the floor, then coming back to that jump shot, and he seems to be getting into the flow now. Allen came into the NBA as the leading scorer in the University of Tennessee's history, breaking the previous mark held by Knicks president Ernie Grunfeld. And he finished his college career as the 13th leading scorer in NCAA history. In fact, he and Ernie are the only 2 players to be named first team all SEC Southeast Conference 4 times. So he is a major scorer.
An average just under 20 per game last year for the Pistons, averaging 13 per game this year. But you can't expect him. He's not going to average that many on this team. And as we continually say, as Gugliotta hits another, he really has not. There are a lot of shooters who let it affect the rest of the game. He has not. And as I mentioned, some nice assists today, 5 overall. Charlie Ward dribbles it off his foot. Houston trying to hold on. West and Hughes fight for it. And West gets it off. Good hustle from Doug West. Gugliotta with the pull-up. Garnett tips it to the right to Ewing. Knicks down 5, just over 6.5 remaining, 3rd quarter. Houston off the screen. Quick jumper. Shot won't go. Garnett the rebound. And Terry Porter trying to get something going against Ward again. West with a pull-up. Tough shot from Doug West. And the Knicks down by 7.
It's always tough to be dribbling left and then come back and shoot with the right hand as West just did.
12 points for Doug West. We're midway through the 3rd. Knicks again behind, and Ward throws it away.
Charlie having a problem 2 in a row now in the turnover department for Charlie.
Some more boos as Jeff Van Gundy trying to get his team fired up a bit. 15 turnovers for the Knicks. Gugliotta. Porter goes backdoor, and Ward grabs a hold of him, so Terry Porter will shoot a couple as Charlie Ward picks up his 3rd.
Nice give and go play from Gugliotta to Terry Porter. Gugliotta, an excellent passer. He's truly an all-around player. Terry Porter, who's been getting heavy minutes in Marbury's absence, goes to the line. Marbury, as you mentioned earlier, Mike, expected back early next week, similar to Chris Childs' situation. Marbury didn't want to come to New York and be in a suit, sitting on the bench and getting all of the attention that he would have gotten had he come here. Chris Childs on the left, Dante Jones.
Marbury had requested 40 tickets for today's game, and he changed that to 2 when it was decided that he was not going to make the trip. So all those expecting those freebies here coming and watching the Knicks. If you don't watch Stephon, you don't watch the game. Knicks down by 9, 56-47, 5:35 remaining, 3rd quarter. Ward drives underneath, comes clear across, and a whistle, and a travel ball against Charlie Ward.
Boy, Charlie's in some down spell now. 3 straight turnovers. Marbury certainly stepped into it, though, Mike, as we know in the preseason play, led the team in scoring, assists. I mean, he stepped into the NBA and showed his teammates that he could do it right away.
Garnett uses Brankovic. Can't get it to go. Houston, the weak side rebound. Throws it ahead, Ewing. Ewing regains control. Ewing move, kicks it out. Charlie Ward fakes the 3.
And a 3-second violation called against the Knicks. Larry Johnson.
4 straight times the Knicks have come down. 4 straight turnovers.
And Minnesota wants a 20-second time. Actually, the Knicks called it first. Both teams wanted one.
Oh, Jeff Van Gundy trying to come up with the magic words now in a positive way to get the Knicks straightened out.
Of course, tonight at 7:30 on the Madison Square Garden Network. NHL hockey, Rangers face off against the Pittsburgh Penguins in Pittsburgh. All starts MCS Cannon game night at 7 p.m. as the Rangers begin a 6-game, 13-day road trip. Rangers been inconsistent, much like the Knicks. Although the Knicks at 6-2. They've gotten away with some inconsistent play and still have won some games, but the turnovers continue to plague Jeff Van Gundy's team. 5 minutes remaining here in the third. Knicks down by 9. Starks has come in again, hoping to ignite the team. He certainly did so Thursday night. Gugliotta against Johnson. Quick turnaround. Good defense that time. Brankovic kept it alive, but Ewing the board.
Ewing with good position on the bigger Brankovic.
9th rebound for Patrick Ewing. Johnson, quick move, gets Garnett up and draws the foul. Very aggressive, very quick move for Larry Johnson. And he'll shoot 2 free throws.
You can see when the Knicks get the ball to Johnson, they clear out the whole side, so he doesn't get double teamed. He's used to getting double teamed, but when the offensive men on his team stay on the other side of the court, why the defense has to go with them. So Larry, as a one-on-one player, is a very difficult man to contain.
Johnson, no good on the free throw. He's now 2 of 5 from the line. The team 6 of 13. I have a feeling they'll be doing a lot of practicing from the charity stripe. One of the first 2 games of the West Coast trip, Johnson way short, but a lane violation. He'll get another chance. First 2 games of the West Coast trip, they were fabulous from the free throw line.
Take a look at the violation now. You can see long before that ball was released, one of the Timberwolves in there.
Gugliotta as Johnson takes advantage. 56-48. Knicks down by 8. With 4.5 to play here in the third. Porter tied up. Shot clock down to 7. Buck Williams on Gugliotta, fires it up. Gugliotta cans a tough jumper. And it's a 10-point Minnesota lead that equals their largest lead of the game. 13 for Gugliotta. Ewing, turnaround, quick shot is good. And Patrick Ewing has 13. The Knicks down by 8. Under the 4-minute mark here in the third. 58-50. Starks took a shot in the chops, holding onto his mouth.
Well, he leaned in there and tried to steal the ball from Porter.
Again, the shot clock winding down. Garnett off the dribble. Ewing gets the rebound.
You notice, Mike, he doesn't look at the basket when he shoots. He just goes up and fires.
Starks strong move to the basket. Won't go down. Johnson keeps it alive. Ewing goes back up. Blocked and a goaltend from Garnett. And Patrick Ewing with 2 points. Knicks within 6.
John Starks all of a sudden has a lane, goes in for a shot that he usually never would miss. Fortunately, though, Larry Johnson keeping it alive, and Ewing getting the goaltending call and 2 points for the Knicks.
58-52. 3:09 remaining. Porter kicks it back out. Doug West is wide open. Won't go. Porter gets the loose ball. It's the side of the backboard. Garnett flips it in. Knicks down by 8, 60-52. Ewing again goes with Brankovic. And there's the fouls. Ewing goes crashing to the floor. And we'll have another timeout. 2 minutes, 50 seconds remain. Third quarter. Knicks trail by 8.
The MacLight flashlight is a
Starks at the point. Porter trying to poke it away.
for a big man that he can work with.
Lost the handle. Porter gets it. And Garnett ahead to Gugliotta. Gugliotta with a jumper. Buck Williams right in his face, but Gugliotta cans it. And he's got 15. Knicks down by 8 again.
Boy, for a guy at his size at 6'10", to be able to shoot the ball from good range like he does, is he tough. And also so difficult to deal with when he puts the ball on the floor.
Allen Houston from 2-point range won't go. Porter the rebound. Knicks down by 8. Under 2 minutes to play here in the third. Doug West. Gugliotta knocks it out, and they're going to call him for a loose ball foul. And that's going to be the 14th foul, 4th on Gugliotta. As James Robinson and Sam Mitchell will come in. Porter will sit down along with Gugliotta. I don't think Porter expected to play this many minutes this year.
That's for sure. But reliable and good shape, and he's done a terrific job. His team comes in today with a record of 4-3.
They have never in their history, in their brief history, been over 2 games over 500. A win this afternoon would do that. Ewing backing in against Garrett, hop step, and they're going to call Ewing for a travel.
You know, it looks to me, Mike, like the officials have decided to take that move of Ewing's that he's been doing for a long time. See that skip at the end? And give him a traveling violation.
It's what a lot of the players are complaining about. They are travels in many cases, but these particular plays haven't been called for years. And a lot of the players trying to adjust to it. They said, hey, I've been doing it 5, 6, 7 years. All of a sudden, you're going to call it now. Garnett against Johnson. Blocked by Larry Johnson. Terrific defensive play.
Boy, and a man 6'11", for Larry Johnson at 6'7", that's some play.
Knicks still down by 8, though. Ewing, quick turnaround shot, no, but he's fouled from behind. Garnett whacked him, and with 49 seconds remaining in the third, Knicks down by 8. Third foul on Garnett.
Let's take a look at Larry Johnson on the block. A look at our Marriott Marquis Sky Cam. Larry Johnson putting tremendous pressure on the taller man and succeeding in recovering the basketball. The New York Marriott Marquis, Broadway's biggest hit.
Ewing missing the first free throw. That was Johnson's second block. 62-54. It has not been a strong offensive game for the Knicks as Ewing hands a second. Ewing scored their last 7 points. Now 18 for the game. With the Knicks trail by 7. James Robinson, a little more quickness at the point right now for Minnesota. Mitchell with the jumper. Garnett gets the long rebound. Quick turnaround and shot. Buck Williams holds on, and the Knicks bring it up down 7. 25 seconds left. Starks mishandles it momentarily. Ewing wants it again. Gets the bounce pass.
You see Starks clear out and take that defender with him so Ewing can operate.
Quick shot from Ewing. Strong, aggressive move. And the Knicks are within 5. Ewing now with the last 9 New York points. Shot clock turned off. That's time remaining in the third. Starks with a steal. He's got time. 3 seconds. Starks drives underneath the layup. He puts it in at the buzzer. And they'll count the goal. John Starks getting the crowd on its feet. 3 quarters complete here at the Garden. The Knicks have pulled to within 3.
And now from Paris, from Milan, from St. Louis.
Introducing a new look from Budweiser. Born on dating. It's the day your Bud was born, because fresh beer tastes better.
Nice label.
Thanks.
Send your package in 2 days with FedEx, and people are impressed. Cost about $8.
Send your package in 2 days with UPS, and people are impressed. Cost about $6.
Send your package in 2 to 3 days with priority mail from the U.S. Postal Service, and people are impressed. Cost
$3.
So, 8, 6, 3, what's your priority? Priority mail from the U.S. Postal Service.
When did you stop loving me? How have I been a memory?
The Nissan Altima, rated the best car in its class for initial quality. Get into a Nissan Altima for just $219 a month with an initial payment of $499 before December 2nd.
At Nobody Beats the Whiz, this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, it's the 36-hour all-department sale. All stores, all departments on sale at Nobody Beats the Whiz.
New York Knicks basketball is brought to you in part by the United States Postal Service. We deliver for you. By MetLife. Get Met. It pays. And by your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealer. There's only one Jeep, and it's only at your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealer.
Knicks down by 3 as we start the fourth quarter. Time for our Coke Classic Play. Of course, big week for moviegoers and sports fans this week. Space Jam, the new Michael Jordan movie, opening up last night, premiering across the country. Many NBA stars are involved, including Patrick Ewing of the Knicks and also Larry Johnson.
No, I killed Bugs in the movie. Tell him, Bugs, I killed him.
Very confident in his acting debut. Yes, Larry looked real smooth. And what a kick it must have been for all of the NBA players to participate in the movie. I've always been a big Bugs fan. Oh, I can truly say I love Bugs. I actually have a couple of the cells, you know, Mike, which I would call artwork in my apartment. And
Knicks with the defense forcing another turnover. Starks comes out of the pack. John Starks coast to coast, and the Knicks are within 1.
Here comes John, as he did on Thursday night against Toronto, lifting up the team.
62-61. Knicks down by as many as 10 here in the second half. Garrett to Robinson. 3 on the shot clock, stripped by Buck Williams. The defense spurring on the Knicks. Charlie Ward with a one-hander, and the Knicks take the lead. Timeout, Minnesota. Charlie Ward gives the Knicks their first lead since late in the first quarter. A minute gone by here in the fourth. The Knicks lead the Timberwolves by 1.
To get your feet wet on the internet, AT&T. Hello?
Remember, when you're having good times with good friends, rowdy though they may be sometimes, drink responsibly, because friends know when to say when. A reminder from your friends at Budweiser. Into the third quarter. Turnover. John Starks pushes that ball up court right to the rim and in as the quarter winds down, and the Knicks are now up by 1.
And the Knicks forcing a couple of turnovers here early fourth to take the 63-62 lead. Williams almost knocks it away again. Gugliotta having his problem. Shot clock at 4. Mitchell and Ewing right there. They're going to call him for a foul, and Patrick Ewing is irate. Second foul on Ewing. Nope, they call it on Johnson. Check that. That'll be his second.
Ewing coming over to help.
Well, Larry Johnson didn't commit that foul. If anyone did, it was Ewing. First team foul. But the Knicks, certainly the defensive intensity has been picked up. Gugliotta, three-pointer. Starks, tips it to Ewing. A little extra bounce to their step right now, John.
Yes, they've really come together.
Ward off the penetration. Johnson from 20 feet away. And Gugliotta gets the rebound. 63-62. Knicks by 1. They trail most of the way. Taking the lead here early in the fourth. Doug West on the spin. Wild shot. Garrett's tip goes in.
Garrett not blocked out. Went to the boards well with a good touch. Tipping that ball in.
So Garrett off the bench. 6.7 rebounds playing with Rankovic in foul trouble. Knicks down by 1.
Larry Johnson looking inside to the cutting John Starks, comes off that Ewing pick.
Ewing and Garrett. Ewing with 3 on the shot clock. Shot is good. Patrick Ewing feeling it. And the Knicks back up by 1. 22 for Ewing. The double team. A steal. Johnson ahead to Starks. Gugliotta though grabs a hold.
Good transition defense by Gugliotta.
Nice move from Gugliotta, and he's hammered by Buck Williams. So Buck Williams picks up his first foul, second team foul. Substitutions now. As we see another look at a pretty move.
Yeah, 6'10", man. Look how he handles that basketball. And the Knicks converge on him for the foul.
Chris Carr and Terry Porterman. Robinson, who just spit out a piece of gum on the floor, much to the disgust of the scorer's table, goes to the bench. Knicks with a 1-point lead. Nearly 3 minutes gone by, fourth quarter. Mitchell drives, stripped down low, and the Knicks force another turnover. Ward to Johnson. Garrett daring him to shoot. Johnson, strong move to the basket. And the Knicks go up by 3.
Johnson with the big smile after making that basket. The guy loves to smile.
13 for Johnson. This is the largest lead for the Knicks, John. Still plenty of time. 8.5 remaining here in the fourth. 67-64. Good defense from Johnson. Mitchell, they're going to call an offensive foul on Mitchell. Charlie Ward with some solid defense.
The Knicks as a team have lifted up the defensive effort so much, and it's forcing the Timberwolves out of what they want to do. They're acting upset actually on the court. They're rushing their moves. They're losing their poise on offense. The Knicks' intensity is doing it.
Knicks have outscored the T-Wolves 8-2 here to start the fourth. They've hit 4 of their first 5 shots of the period. Ewing gets it deep, turns against Garrett. The jump hook, rolled, won't go. Williams keeps it alive. Fight for the ball, still loose. Everybody diving. Starks tries to find it, and somebody stepped out of bounds. Starks was out of bounds when he held on.
What a remarkable effort by everybody, but John Starks right in the middle of it, offering his body up to that loose basketball big time. Everybody hustling. Buck Williams on the play. Starks, he'll just dive for that ball. He's out of bounds, however. He doesn't know it at the time. Buck Williams right back in it again.
First down, Timberwolves. 67-64. Knicks by 3. We've played 4 minutes here in the fourth.
Larry Johnson denying the position to Gugliotta that he wants.
Gugliotta gets to the head fake, and that forces Johnson to foul, as you saw with just 5 remaining on the shot clock. For Johnson, that'll be his third, and the third team foul.
Gugliotta being fought hard for that position that Gugliotta wants. Gugliotta responds, though, fakes the jumper, then goes baseline. He's so tough to deal with.
John Wallace comes in. Johnson will sit down. Porter at the point. Again, James Robinson's got most of the fourth quarter minutes at the point. As Charlie Ward deflects it, comes up with a steal. And Starks called for a carry. Just couldn't hold on to it. But the Knicks defense has been sensational here in the fourth quarter.
John with the big effort loses track of that dribble. You can see him carrying that basketball with that ball at ear level.
You can dribble it as high as you want, but he walked about 4 steps in between dribbles on that one. Gugliotta, long distance. Buck Williams battles for the rebound, took it away from Sam Mitchell. Ward, nice feed to Wallace in a reverse jam, and the Knicks go up by 5. Charlie Ward threading the needle. 7:14 remaining, fourth quarter. Knicks with a 5-point lead.
You're watching MSG Network. We're all over it. It's PC Richard & Sons' giant grand opening on Boyce Road in Carl Place. Come meet the stars and get free autographs as we celebrate this giant event. This Saturday, meet and greet world champion Yankee pitcher David Cone from noon to 2. This Sunday, meet the entire 69 amazing Mets outfield. Tommy Agee, Cleon Jones, and Ron Swoboda from noon to 2:30. Join us and enter to win an RCA 52-inch big screen television. It's PC Richards' giant grand opening, 120 Boyce Road in Carl Place. Be there.
Sometimes I wonder if people really know how much pride we take in our work.
Be sure to check the O2 sensor.
We live by a code of ethics that puts honesty and customer satisfaction first. How do I know we get the job done right? Because I own this shop. And that's the way we do business here.
Thank you, ma'am. Come back to see us.
We keep America running. We keep America running.
Stop squeezing me! Stop squeezing me! You'd think I was a dime, not 100, the way these guys at Franklin Square Ford squeeze everything out of me to make deals with their customers. In my day, there were no cars, and now they're squeezing me to give great deals on brand new Fords, new conversion vans, and quality pre-owned cars at Franklin Square Ford. The way they squeeze me makes me want to go fly a kite. Franklin Square Ford, 690 Hempstead Turnpike, Franklin Square.
Deb Kaufman back at the Garden. A reminder, tennis fans, starting Monday, November 18th through Sunday, November 24th, it's the Chase Championships here at the Garden. This basketball court will be turned into a tennis court. Baseline will have a whole new meaning. This is Martina Hingis, 16 years old. What do you think of this NBA game?
I like it. First time I've been in Miami, and then in Chicago was a great game, and I always enjoy to be and watch a basketball game.
They played a pretty high level, don't they?
Yeah, that's great. Myself, I play also a little bit, but this is unbelievable.
All right, good luck. Have a good week in the tennis here.
Thank you.
Let's go back to Mike and John.
Beautiful give and go with Gugliotta and Porter. If she had answered that first question by saying it's fantastic, I would have accused her of being a plant. Well, Deb Kaufman, I think, just spoke to the next Chris Everett. She is great at her age right now, at her teenage age, and she is just some player. Wallace, the offensive rebound, and a double dribble. Knicks have put together a terrific start to this fourth quarter. They lead by 3, 69-66, with 6:39 remaining. Knicks with 5 steals in this fourth quarter alone. And there are the turnover numbers piling up here for the T-Wolves in this fourth. Porter, strong move to the basket, flips it up on some intimidation underneath, saves it to Gugliotta. Nice head fake again. Wild shot from Gugliotta, and it goes in. Sensational drive by Gugliotta. He had to get through a lot of Knicks intensity to get that ball up. And superb second effort from Terry Porter to keep that ball alive. Lead is back to 1. Ewing against Gugliotta, and he's fouled. And if that's on Gugliotta, that's number 5. It is. Well, he has played well. He's had his problems here at the Garden. He's done some nice things today. Last move by Gugliotta. Nice fake, getting rid of John Wallace and dealing with Patrick Ewing. John Wallace, the Knicks front line, Buck Williams, and he made it work. Meanwhile, at the other end, Mike, we've seen today particularly a lot of evidence of Ewing's upper body strength. Guys are fighting him for position and banging onto him as they just did prior to the last move.
And he is unaffected because of the time he's put in with the weights and the work of Greg Brittenham, the Knicks strength and conditioning coach.
Brittenham says that Ewing worked as hard as anyone in this offseason and came into camp as good a shape as he's ever been in. Knicks lead is 3. Garnett. Wallace tried to block it from behind, and they're going to call it on John Wallace. That'll be his 3rd. Knicks by 3, 71-68, 5:44 remaining in the 4th. Knicks trailed by 3 heading into this period. They were down by as many as 10 in the 3rd quarter. Second straight game they'll try and come back from a double-digit deficit in the second half as Garnett hits the first. He has struggled from the field, 4 of 17, the 20-year-old. There's the total numbers of points and rebounds. Hits both this time. Back to a 1-point game. 71-70. Knicks trying to close out the homestand with a win against the much improved Timberwolves. Starks fires a 3. He's got it. John Starks from downtown. And the Knicks go back up by 4. Wallace on the steal down the other end. Starks once again a key spark off the bench.
The Knicks have really presented an entirely different personality as a team here.
Another 3. Wallace another offensive rebound. His feet to Ewing. Let's see if it's deflected. No, it's going to be Minnesota ball. Tommy Wood, one of the officials, wisely didn't see it, and he waited for Dick Bavetta to make the call. Good teamwork from the officials as Chris Carr comes out. Doug West back in, and West talking to Starks. 74-70. Knicks by 4.
Excuse me, Mike. So much tougher now for Minnesota to get good shots with this Knicks intensity.
Mitchell hop step across the lane. Ewing got a piece of it. Wallace gets the rebound. And Ewing and Mitchell push and shove each other as they go up the floor. Who are they going to call it against? They call it against Mitchell. Second team foul. Second on Mitchell. And the Knicks will take it out. Mitchell not happy. They were jostling for position, walking up the floor. Both pushed each other, but the officials caught Mitchell. Knicks with a 4-point lead. Ward to Ewing. Drives across, and there's the travel.
Looked like Patrick took 2 steps before he made his move directly to the basket. Got into a different rhythm than usual.
25 turnovers for the Knicks. The defense, though, has been the story. Superb defense here in the 4th quarter. Gugliotta is double teamed, and a 3-second violation called against Minnesota. Starks took a whack from Gugliotta that might have been called a charge, but the violation came prior, and we'll have timeout. Jeff Van Gundy wants to talk it over. Flip Saunders' team, the leads slipping away here in the 4th. 4:21 remaining, 4th quarter. Knicks now up by 4.
Freshness hotline, what's the problem?
Man, my party is...
Left, the Knicks enjoying a 4-point lead now after a lot of hard work and a big change in their play. Knicks on the move. We'll take a Marriott Marquis look now at the Knicks pushing that ball up court to John Wallace, who excited his teammates and himself with that reverse dunk a few moments ago, a few hoops ago.
And after this afternoon, Knicks will have a 3-game road trip coming up, starting off with the Orlando Magic down in Florida Tuesday night. All begins MCS Canada Knicks game night at 7:30. Tip-off shortly after 8. The Magic will be without Anthony Hardaway. He's suffering a knee injury. He'll be out from 2 to 6 weeks. And Buck Williams continues his teaching of John Wallace. Williams has played exceptional here in the second half.
Buck Williams has added something every time he's been on the floor wearing a Knicks uniform. He doesn't seem to have down spells. He just adds. He's a plus.
Ward, Starks, Wallace, Buck Williams, and Ewing on the floor for the Knicks. Ewing trying to get positions again. Frankovic, head fake, puts up the jumper short. And the ball tipped out. Garnett lets it go. It's Minnesota ball.
Ewing got into some banging session with Brankovic before he got that basketball, but remains unaffected. Doesn't look fatigued by all that physical play, as we were saying earlier.
And a whistle away as Gugliotta tries to get free. This will go against Buck Williams. Knicks now over the limit. Second foul on Buck Williams, so Gugliotta will shoot free throws. He is a perfect 5 for 5 today from the line.
For the game, the Knicks shooting at 50%, and the Timberwolves down to 38%. They are normally this season at 42% from the field themselves. They take great pride in holding their opponents to 41. And today, however, the Knicks are far over that number.
Gugliotta, who is not a great free throw shooter. He had a career high last year, 77, but for his career, he's at 70%. This is the first one for him this afternoon. Connects the second.
Real simple motion for him, which is good.
74-71. Knicks with a 3-point lead. A little over 3.5 remaining in the fourth. Ward loses it to Gugliotta. And Gugliotta falls down. And they say Ward trips him. Ward argues with Dick Bavetta. But Gugliotta's going to get a chance to shoot more free throws as Ward picks up his fourth.
Take a look at it now. Charlie Ward shut out by Gugliotta. He goes behind the back. Hard to tell. Looks like he might have tripped himself.
Yeah. Also looked like Gugliotta with a lot of contact on the steal.
But Gugliotta made a big play by jumping out and pushing that ball away.
That one rattles in and out. Larry Johnson back in. And gives a pat on the head to Wallace, who goes to the bench. Wallace 2 points, 6 rebounds, couple of offensive boards for Wallace. Johnson has 13 points. Good all-around numbers for Gugliotta. A 2-point game, 74-72. Knicks holding on with 3.5 remaining here in the fourth. Starks and Ewing trying to play the 2 game. Starks goes the opposite way, drives baseline, kicks it out. Charlie Ward, 3-pointer, hits the side of the backboard. Johnson tips it out, but the shot clock is not reset. Starks a long 3. And had to throw it up. There was 2 remaining on the 24. Knicks by 2, just over 3 minutes remaining. Brankovic gets Ewing in the air, but can't pull the trigger. Corner to Brankovic. Buck Williams blocks it, but a foul. And Brankovic will shoot 2 as Williams picks up his 3rd.
Brankovic's time's been limited because of early fouls, but at his size at 7'2", a major problem when he gets the ball around the basket.
He's only taken 2 free throws this season, none today. He had made the previous 2. This is that one. The team was hurting themselves at the line right now. And the Knicks call timeout. 2:55 remaining, fourth quarter. Knicks holding on to a 2-point lead.
When did you stop?
Nissan Altima, rated the best car in its class for initial quality. Get into a Nissan Altima for just $219 a month with an initial payment of $499 before December 2nd.
A special announcement from General Health.
A 36-hour all-department sale, Thursday through Saturday. All computers, 166 megahertz or faster. All cellular phones. All CD players. All big screen TVs. All hi-fi VCRs. All CDs originally priced $11.98. The 36-hour all-department sale at Nobody Beats the Wiz.
.55 remaining, fourth quarter at Madison Square Garden. Knicks lead the Timberwolves 74-72. It was a slow start. Knicks trailed by 10 in the first half. Trailed by 10 as well in the third quarter, but stormed back at the end of the third and the start of the fourth to briefly take a 5-point lead. But Minnesota not giving up. And it's a 2-point advantage for the Knicks.
Well, the Knicks have enjoyed a lot of success against this young team now in its 8th season. Knicks having won the last 10 meetings between the two teams. Knicks' last loss to the Timberwolves was on January 16, 1991 at the Garden, the night of the Persian Gulf War outbreak. And at home here at the Garden, the Knicks have won 5 successive games. So the much improved Timberwolves making it a little more difficult now for the Knicks. Fun afternoon, a lot of the young fans out in force, enjoying the action. Rather ponderous young man. He's trying to figure out what the next 255 are going to hold, you know. I think he's a Knicks fan, though, Mike. I believe you're right.
And there's the numbers from the line, although here in the fourth quarter they've struggled a bit. Ewing holds on to it. Rankovic misses both. T-Wolves used to close games. 3 of their 7 games so far this year have been decided by 3 points or less. The Knicks have had their share of close ones as well. They lead by 2. Ewing with the drive. Shot clock down to 7. Starks underneath. Feed to Buck Williams, and he can't handle it. Another turnover. T-Wolves get it back. 27 turnovers. But Starks has been a real spark here in the second half off the bench again. Porter getting the minutes. Gugliotta down low. Couple of head fakes. Buck Williams altered that shot. Ball tipped to Garnett, and he's fouled. John Starks called for the personal, and Garnett will shoot free throws. Second on Starks. So Garnett, right place at the right time with 2:17 remaining. You know, a lot of people last year, John, because he went right from high school to the NBA, they wanted him to fail because they didn't want anyone to set an example that it can be done. But he's one guy, as he hits the first free throw, his poise and his maturity.
Yes, he has earned plaudits not only for his ability but for his attitude. And last year he was on the NBA All-Rookie second team, finished the season as the youngest player in the NBA at 19 years, 11 months. And as I said earlier, the defensive skills that he's shown has really impressed the coaching staff.
And he's tied it at 74 with a nice touch from the free throw line. Charlie Ward drives down the lane, backs it in. Beautiful move from Charlie Ward. And the Knicks go back up by 2. 2 minutes remaining, fourth quarter. Ward now with 8 points. They want to go to Gugliotta. Buck Williams defending him. The spin from Gugliotta. Tough shot. Won't go. Ewing high for the rebound. His 15th of the game. Big possession here for the Knicks. Just over a minute and a half remaining here in the fourth. A 2-point lead. Starks to Ewing. 6 on the shot clock. Ewing across the lane. Finds Ward. Charlie Ward a 3. Won't go. Ward deflects it. And it's going to be Minnesota ball. 1:24 remaining. Knicks holding on to a 2-point lead. And Flip Saunders now wants to talk it over. This one going right down to the wire. Knicks lead by 2. There you see your time remaining here in the fourth quarter.
Announcing the adventure.
Fast drill level B.
Ben, thanks for coming. I'd like to show you something.
Jersey test positive.
Commence starter cell performance analysis.
These with the others. Today we're simulating a home game to test thermal protection.
Yeah! You're the man!
You ever been to Milwaukee?
Temperature reduction in progress.
Knicks holding on to a 2-point lead. 1:24 remaining in the fourth quarter. Timeouts left as Minnesota just called that last one. They've got 1 full and a 20. Knicks with 2 full timeouts left. As I mentioned, both teams have had their share of close games already this season.
Well, Charlie Ward a moment ago working his way down the lane. All of a sudden it opened up and he took it as far as he could and hit that shot off the backboard. Another look at Charlie accelerating to the basket. going off balance and hitting that shot. Big basket for the Knicks. And they're going to try and protect this 2-point lead now and extend it, obviously.
Ward coming out on the floor, along with Starks in the backcourt with him. Buck Williams, Larry Johnson, and Patrick Ewing as well. Meanwhile, for the T-Wolves, it's Terry Porter, Doug West, Kevin Garnett, Stojano Frankovic, and Tom Gugliotta. Garnett, 9 on the shot clock as Gugliotta looks to go against Johnson. Gugliotta full away, Johnson on the block, Starks gets the rebound. Larry Johnson comes up with another big block.
Boy, people questioned Larry Johnson's defensive commitment when he came here to the Knicks, and he has been solid today.
Under a minute remaining in the fourth. 47 seconds, Knicks by 2. Shot clock down to 7. Johnson head fake, tries to draw the foul now to Ewing. Ewing with 3 on the clock. He's got it. Patrick Ewing gives the Knicks a 4-point lead with 38 seconds remaining. Shot clock winding down. And Ewing now with 26 for the game gives the Knicks a little breathing room.
What a break, the way that sequence worked out. Larry Johnson looked like he was trying to draw the foul, and the ball gets pushed over to Patrick Ewing, who was right on target with his follow-through.
Ewing having another big game, 26 points, 15 rebounds. Johnson making the wise decision at the last second. And of course, down the other end of the floor, John, Larry Johnson with the big block.
Larry Johnson with an amazing play, and then Ewing ending up at the offensive end of the court hitting the big shot.
T-Wolves played some good defense on that play, and the Knicks certainly good defense on this one.
How about Larry Johnson with the hands up, playing defense hard. And another example of him going up against a taller man and being so tough and getting a piece of that shot.
Johnson, a strong all-around game, 13 points, 6 boards, 4 assists, and as we mentioned, 3 block shots. One of the others was on Garnett, who's 6'11".
Yes.
Gugliotta, 6'10".
I mean, the story of his game today is his defense.
Knicks trailing by 3 heading into the fourth quarter. They trailed by 10 in the third quarter, but have come up with a strong second-half performance once again. And the defense certainly the key. They've also had 6 steals here in this final period. This one's certainly not over yet. Plenty of time left. 38.1 remaining. And the lead 4. T-Wolves are 3 of 7 from downtown this afternoon. Sam Mitchell, Terry Porter, Gugliotta, Garnett, and West come on. Knicks stick with Ward, Starks, Buck Williams, Larry Johnson, and Ewing.
T-Wolves are not a good three-point shooting team. They've only made 19 of them in 7 games. Knicks have made 46 in 8 games today.
Garnett will inbound. Knicks do not guard the inbound. Porter, quick shot against Ward. Tough shot from Terry Porter, and it's a 2-point Knick lead. And the Knicks will call timeout. Well, that is a big basket. 33.8 remaining in the fourth. Knicks holding on, a 2-point advantage.
You're not with AT&T, are you?
No.
Spending, no time requirements, no restrictions, no games.
You can't beat that.
Call 1-800-YES-to-ATT. You'll get one low rate plus 100 free minutes for switching to AT&T. So what do you think?
I think the 100 free minutes is awesome.
The one-rate plan is excellent. There's no restrictions, no limits.
So what are you going to do?
Pick up the phone and switch to AT&T.
One rate, 100 minutes. Call 1-800-YES-to-ATT to switch.
78-76 as Terry Porter brought things a little closer with a very big shot Timberwolves inbounded the ball right to the hands of Porter. Was right to the jump shot. Charlie Ward right up with him, but Porter right in the hole. Clean hoop by him. Now we have a 2-point game, 33 and 8/10 seconds to go.
Most importantly, is a quick shot, and you know, especially so many younger players, as you see, one timeout left for the Knicks, 120 for the T-Wolves. A lot of the younger players will think three-pointer, I got to go for the three, but Porter, the veteran, knows there's plenty of time, hit a couple of twos, try and get the ball back. Here what, the Knicks are going to have to hit some free throws to wrap this one up, and they've struggled from the line this afternoon. Tom Gugliotta playing one of his better games at Madison Square Garden. The New York native has struggled in some of his visits, but he's got 19 points. He's helped the T-Wolves within 2. Buck Williams will inbound. Gugliotta guarding the inbound. Ewing comes out to help. Porter's on Ward. Knicks by 2. That's time remaining in the 4th. Ward penetrates across the lane, and he's fouled. Hard to see if he was going to throw up a shot or not. T-Wolves not over the limit, and they call it on a pass-off, so the Knicks will take it out. That's their 3rd team foul and first in the last 2 minutes, so the next one the Knicks will shoot.
Charlie Ward, crossover dribble, gets to the basket, and gets bumped.
Yeah, he was not looking to shoot there as Scott Brooks comes in. Buck Williams, Larry Johnson sit down. Allen Houston also in. As Jeff Van Gundy putting on some ball handlers and good free throw shooters on the floor. Sam Mitchell back in the game.
Houston's first appearance in the 4th quarter. Charles Oakley has been out for quite a long time. Charles hasn't played in the 4th quarter.
Buck Williams getting a lot of the minutes here in the 4th. He has played exceptionally well to warrant him staying in the game. 20 seconds remaining. Shot clock is off. Knicks by 2. And there's the quick foul on Starks. Starks has been tremendous from the free throw line. He will now shoot 2. Starks is 5th in the NBA in free throw shooting at 90%. As Oakley watches, hoping his teammates can hold on for this one.
John, as we mentioned the other night, has always been reliable in these very clutch moments at the foul line. He was also the other night against Toronto.
Buck Williams ready to come back in. Starks has not attempted a free throw yet this afternoon, but on the season he's 27 for 30. Knicks as a team have not shot well, but these huge free throws with 19.4 remaining. Starks really has that confident feel. He's changed the way he stands at the line a little bit, John, and that the right foot slightly ahead of the left foot.
Yes, players have their comfort zone, a balance they seek, and for everyone, it's different. As that right foot's a little in front of the left foot. Takes his time, dribbles the ball. He'll get a good look at the rim now.
Excellent technique, and the Knicks go back up on 4. That is picture perfect for youngsters to watch. And a 20-second timeout by the T-Wolves. They are completely out of timeouts.
Well, the Knicks have struggled throughout this game. They've overcome a slow start, a lot of turnovers, but the defensive intensity, the effort really stepped up, and that in many ways sparked a much better offensive game. They started taking away a lot too from the Timberwolves down low where they got hurt early. It's been a real gutty effort by the Knicks in getting to this 4-point lead.
With 19.4 remaining, and the Knicks were not playing well until late in the 3rd. They were down by 7 late in the 3rd, came up with 2 quick steals in the final minute, cut that lead to 3 by the end of the 3rd, and then quickly jumped on the T-Wolves early in the 4th. I'll tell you what, though, Minnesota fans have got a pretty good team to watch this year. Ewing, Johnson, Buck Williams, Starks, and Ward come out on defense for the Knicks. Mitchell, Porter, Garnett, Gugliotta, and West. As Dick Pavetta makes sure everything's A-OK. Now Mitchell can't come in. Brankovic will inbound. Knicks with a little full court pressure here. Brankovic fires, ball deflected. Garnett picks it up. Ewing makes him stop his dribble. Now Porter draws the foul at a three-point attempt, and he'll get 3 free throws. Got Charlie Ward up in the air, and Terry Porter will go to the line for 3.
Smart move by the veteran Terry Porter.
And Porter, an excellent free throw shooter, 84% for his career. He's 4 of 5 this afternoon.
The ball in the right hands as Porter gets Charlie in the air.
And still lots of time, 11.6 remaining. Plenty can happen in that time as Porter hands the first. Allen Houston will come back in. Buck Williams will sit down as Jeff Van Gundy going with the offense-defense substitution. Gugliotta and Brankovic will go out as Garrett and Mitchell come in. 2 more free throws for Porter.
Porter also a man focusing on that rim, taking his time like Starks did.
And that one also good. Although you could, by the way Porter released it, he didn't have a good feel when it left his hand. And cut it to 1 with this free throw with still 11.6 remaining. Knicks have 1 timeout left. Timberwolves out of timeouts. Rattles in. Porter hits all 3. It's a 1-point game. Full court pressure now from Minnesota. And Starks quickly fouled by West. And Starks going to have to do it again, come up with some clutch free throws.
Well, he's the man the Knicks would want at the line, and it worked out.
So Jeff Van Gundy going back to the bench. He's going to send Buck Williams in once again. 10.5 remaining, 80-79. Knicks by 1. Starks with 2 free throws. And Allen Houston will sit down. Starks, as we mentioned, 5th in the NBA in free throw shooting. Funny how a game, all the battles, all the analysis, all the strategy comes down to free throws. And Starks taking his time, always takes the deep breath. The shooter's roll.
Timberwolves have put in Shane Heal, Australian player, known for his 3-point shooting. But he's only played 18 minutes this season and has taken 2 3-point shots while making 1.
He's an NBA rookie. He's got great range. T-Wolves do not have any timeouts left. There's 10.5 remaining. Starks with another big free throw. And John Starks perfect from the line. 82-79. T-Wolves will look for a 3.
They got to get a 3.
Buck Williams trying to double team.
You can't foul this guy when he attempts one again.
Gugliotta, 3-pointer. No good. And the Knicks survive this afternoon against Minnesota. Once again, a 3 at the buzzer. The Knicks fans holding their breath. But the Knicks emerge victorious with a strong 4th quarter. Disappointing loss for Gugliotta and the T-Wolves, who played very, very well. But they come away empty by 3. And the Knicks again exhibiting that down the stretch toughness. Final score from Madison Square Garden. The Knicks 82, the Timberwolves 79. We'll be back with more.
We have a wonderful 75 La Pouille Cabernet, or an exquisite 58 Le Boussemillon, or a 62 Jevoux Pinot if you're in the mood for...
No. Enough of that old stuff. Lady and I would prefer something fresh. How about something in a lager? What do you got in a Budweiser from, say, early this month?
Budweiser. Guaranteed fresh with born-on dates.
Yankee fans, the Bombers are back.
The Yankees are champions of baseball.
Now, Sports Illustrated lets you grab a piece of history with SI's exclusive World Series Championship Package. This limited edition, hardbound SI commemorative and official World Series video are both free with your paid subscription to Sports Illustrated. You'll relive all the moments that made the '96 Fall Classic unforgettable. From the Yanks' unlikely sweep in Atlanta to the thrilling final game in the Bronx. Call now and you'll also get a true collector's dream. This hardbound, gold embossed, individually numbered SI Championship Commemorative. Get your exclusive World Series package free when you order 54 issues of SI for only $1.48 an issue. Save over 55% off the cover price. Use your credit card. Celebrate the historic New York Yankees World Championship with Sports Illustrated. Get into it.
On the other hand, Patrick Ewing celebrating as the ball careens off, Karen's off the rim. So the Knicks do win this one. Again, they had to come back. The strong defense is what did it tonight. They're not really scoring all that many points, but the defense was good enough to win it this afternoon. We'll have a lot more on the post-game report. We'll hear from Jeff Van Gundy. We'll head into the Knick locker room. Michael Kay is on the prowl as he usually is. First, though, let's go back to the gentlemen who call the game, Mike and John.
Thank you, Deb. Again, final score, Knicks defeat the Timberwolves 82-79. They improved to 7-2 overall, 3-2 here at the Garden. Timberwolves fall to 4-4 overall, 1-4 on the road. Next up for the Knicks, on the road, starting a 3-game road trip on Tuesday night in Orlando against the Magic. Starts with FCS Canada Knicks game night at 7:30, tip-off shortly after 8. Of course, coming up next, the post-game report. We'll hear from winning coach Jeff Van Gundy and the Knicks about their strong defense in the fourth quarter, coming up with 6 steals as they overcome a double-digit second-half deficit for the second straight game. And Patrick Ewing with 26 points, 15 rebounds as well. Closed captioning has been brought to you by Empire Blue Cross and Blue Shield, the best of health. So the Knicks win the matinee affair. New York native Tom Gugliotta comes close, but his three-pointer off the mark, and Patrick Ewing and the Knicks emerge victorious on their home floor. For John Andres and our entire crew, this is Mike Green from Marv Albert. Good afternoon, everyone, and stay tuned for the postgame.
New York Knicks basketball has been brought to you by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, who reminds you fresh beer tastes better. By Payne Weber. When you invest with Payne Weber, you invest with more intelligence. By AT&T, your true choice. By British Airways, the world's favorite airline. And by Fannie Mae Foundation, showing America a new way home.
Remember when phone calls were simple? Well, AT&T is making them simple again. Calls from home are one low rate all the time.
Are you saying one rate all the time?
Yeah.
This is from AT&T?
Yeah, it's 15 cents a minute, no restrictions. To anybody, anywhere, anytime.
Daytime?
All the time.
After my nap?
Anytime.
To anybody?
Everybody in America at any time.
953.
Why is this so hard to understand?
No restrictions, no games. The AT&T one-rate plan.
Introducing the New York Knicks credit card from American Express. Call 1-800-KNICKS now and get the only card that gives you savings, service, and great Knick discounts. Get the savings of no annual fee, this low introductory rate for purchases when you pay your bill over time, and American Express service. Plus, discounts at the Garnett restaurants and on Knicks merchandise. A free gift just for using the card. You can even win prizes like a skybox seat to a Knicks game. So apply for your Knicks credit card from American Express. Call 1-800-KNICKS now, because there's just one thing to say about a credit card this great. American Express helps Knicks fans do more.
Knicks post-game report is brought to you by Citibank. For banking anytime, anywhere, any way you you choose. At Citibank, the city never sleeps.
Welcome back to a Saturday afternoon at Madison Square Garden, where the Knicks have defeated the Minnesota Timberwolves 82-79. It's been more than 5 years since the Knicks lost to the T-Wolves here at the Garden, and they escaped today with a 3-point win. 13 of the points this afternoon came from Larry Johnson. Almost as important, his 3 blocks and the big defensive shot there, the big defensive stop there against Tom Gugliotta late in the 4th quarter. Here's LJ splitting the defenders and scoring 2 of his 13. And here he is, our special guest today, Larry Johnson. And you did have the big stop there at the end against Tom Gugliotta. I guess it's fair to say there were a couple of newspaper articles written, a couple of us on TV talking about your defense before you got here.
Well, yeah, I've been reading about it, so I'm glad I can capitalize and, you know, come up with a big play. You know, in Charlotte for 5 years, I've been coming up with big plays on the offensive end, so it's a thrill to come up with a big play on the defensive end.
Now, you got up high a couple of times to make good stops on guys that have the height advantage on you. Now, is that a byproduct of playing in a different position for you a little bit in the role you're playing with the Knicks?
I think so. Most of the time when I do play against these taller guys that's as much taller than I am, I do have a strength advantage, and I try to use my body strength as much as possible to get them off the box and make sure that I can get under and underneath them, and that takes away from their height. Maybe if I'm underneath them, they can't jump as high.
Against Philly, you score 28, but you lose. You score only a couple the other night, but you win. Tonight, it's almost like you split the difference. You had, you know, a solid 13 points and 6 rebounds, and you won.
You know, I think I'd take the 2 points and win. You know, a lot of the reporters was asking me in the locker room after the game the other day, and they asked me how I felt about taking 3 shots and only scoring 2 points. You know, I think if you ask every guy in this league, he would like to be a superstar. He would like to, you know, be a main focus guy. But if you ask him deep down, a person like me, I want to win more than anything. So I felt better scoring 2 points and winning than I did scoring 28 and losing.
What about the turnovers? A sloppy play again today with passing, and sometimes the guy's trying to go maybe for that circus shot and trying to thread the needle. Are you trying to do maybe too much with passing the basketball?
Sometimes we're trying to go for the home run and trying to make that big play instead of just making an easy pass and easy play. I think it's wrinkles that we're getting in trouble. We're getting off the bad starts at home. With Philly, we lost the game by throwing it away too much and coming out lackadaisical. And hopefully, I know as the season go on, this is going to take care of itself. There's nothing we need to be concerned about it. We're not overlooking it, but I mean, as we keep stinging ourselves with losing games at home and getting behind and almost losing games at home, we're going to straighten up, and that's going to have to take care of itself.
So now you go for 3 on the road. You haven't lost yet on the road this year.
Well, you know, that's a good feeling too. It should be the other way around. We should never lose in the Garden, but you know, we've been playing well on the road. We usually get up and take care of the ball a little bit better on the road.
We talked a little bit about the turnovers. Are you eager for Chris Childs to get back now? It looks like Tuesday in Orlando he will be back.
You know, he's been practicing. He's been looking great at practice. That's just another spark that's going to be added to our ball club, especially on the as a point guard, guard position. And he's really going to come in and spark us and give us a lift. And, you know, it's good for Charlie Ward to get that playing, that good experience right now, because we're going to have 2 quality point guards that we can put in at any time.
We looked at a preview of Space Jam earlier today. Did you enjoy the premiere Wednesday night? Did you enjoy the shooting in L.A.?
I think the premiere was better. You know, the shooting started off good. Yeah, the shooting started off good, but then all of a sudden, you know, like you said, it got pretty boring and pretty tiring. But, you know, when we saw the end result, it was all worth it.
All right, and now on this road trip, one last thing. You go back to Charlotte. What will that be like?
Well, I think it's going to be a little hectic for me. My wife has already ordered like 60, 70 tickets. So,
did you get them all?
Yeah, I told her to take care of that. I'm not dealing with no ticket situations. I'm just coming to play, and I don't care what happens off the floor. As long as on the floor, we take care of business and win the ball game.
Are you expecting a warm reception or mixed reviews?
Mixed reviews, I think. But I think the majority, I'm hoping the majority will be a warm reception.
Thank you, Larry.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay. As we continue post-game on MSG here, Larry Johnson's with us, and here he is in action. What do you think of this, Larry?
Well, you know, like you said, Kim Garnett's one of them tall players. I had to face him up and shoot the jumper on that one.
Looked okay.
Yeah, I got to keep doing that more, though.
Now, your teammate Patrick Ewing is only 6 points away now from 20,000. Here's a couple.
Oh, we're going to get that to him real quickly. He'll get that in the next 8 minutes in the next ball game.
You think so?
I know so.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Patrick Ewing is our Marriott Marquee player of the game. 26 points. He was 9 of 17 13 from the floor and the 14 rebounds and a couple of big block shots for him as well. And he is, as we said, now only 6 points away from the magical 20,000. All right, we'll take a quick timeout before we go. It's John Starks with the turnover. So the Knicks had 27 of their own, but John Starks picks this one off and takes it all the way as he lays it up. When we come back, we'll hear from the victorious coach, Jeff Van Gundy, as we continue post-game on MSG.
The New York Knicks post-game report is brought to you by Citibank. For banking anytime, anywhere, any way you choose. At Citibank, the city never sleeps.
So I get this email from my friend.
Do not fail.
Whoa. And all about...
They're $7.
This date in New York Knicks history is brought to you by Tommy Hilfiger, the classic American designer.
November 16th, 1962, Wilt Chamberlain scores 73 points against the Knicks as the San Francisco Warriors defeat the Knicks. Also on this date, in 1993, John Starks helps the Knicks get off to a franchise record 7-0 start, leading the team with 18 points in a victory against Dallas.
This date in New York Knicks history has been brought to you by Tommy Hilfiger, the classic American designer.
Well, the Knicks had to overcome some poor shooting in the first half, and they go on to win this one once again by a final of 82-79. A slow start on this Saturday afternoon. That sometimes happens when you play an early game, and for them that was the case. But Minnesota went dry in the fourth quarter. They were only 4 of 13 from the field, and the Knicks played some good defense, and they go on to win this one by 3. There was a time in the third quarter where the Knicks were getting booed by the home fans, a couple of turnovers in the backcourt, and it seems like Chris Childs can't get healthy soon enough, but the Knicks were able to do the job, and they win this one in the end. Same situation as they had on Thursday night and their last game on Thursday night. The opposition with a 3-point opportunity to tie it and go into overtime, but it was not to be. Patrick Ewing led the way for the Knicks with 26 points, and Larry Johnson, our guest, and John Starks both had 13. Allen Houston missed still a couple of open jumpers, but he did get into double digits tonight, and Charlie Ward with 8. On the other side for Minnesota, Tom Gugliotta led the way with 19, the New York native. Well documented today, Terry Porter was 16, Kevin Garnett, the youngster, with 12, and Doug West, the longtime T-Wolf, also had a dozen. The victorious coach from this afternoon is Jeff Van Gundy. He spoke to the media, as he always does, just a few minutes ago. Let's hear what he had to say about this afternoon's win.
Go ahead. I thought we played with so much fire and intensity throughout the four quarters today. You know, and that's what we had to do to overcome our offensive or offensive turnovers and poor free throw shooting again. You know.
Much credit for that fire do you give to John, those 2 dashes he made bridging the third?
Well, see, you know, a lot of people would say it just started in the second half, but it didn't. We were playing hard throughout, but you're not gonna. You don't look good when you don't get shots up at the basket. I mean, we continue to shoot well when we get a shot up at the basket.
Jeff, that group you're using in the fourth quarter, Ewing, Starks, Ward, Buck Williams, John Wallace, is your fourth quarter energy group?
No, Larry played, I think, the first 13 minutes of the half, and then I played John for 4 and then went back to Larry. So, no, I'm just going with the hot hands. I thought Buck was outstanding again today. His defense on Gugliotta. You know, John made some big plays.
I know you put Buck in there for Oak when he had 4 fouls, but I mean, did you keep him in there for a while because of the job on Gugliotta?
Well, I thought Oak was doing a good job on him too, to tell you the truth. I thought Charles played well, and Charles Buck Williams played well as well. So
you gave them 9 points for energy again, but as you often put it, you play smart as well. Because a lot of times we're like giving up 3-shot fouls, stopping the clock. It shows lack of smart play. And when's that going to catch up with you? And eventually you would think it would.
Yeah, I mean, you have to play hard and smart to win in this league consistently and be a championship team. There's no doubt. I agree with you.
Coach, what do you attribute the turnovers to?
Well, yeah, I think we had a different type of turnovers. I think we had, I think Patrick's were all three were travels. I'm not sure they were, but they were all three travels. John had a couple missed dribbles just out in the open court. A couple drop-off passes where we dropped them off out of bounds. And I can't really tell you some of the other ones. But we just, unfortunately, we just have a bunch of different ones. I don't think it's just the turnovers. When you miss free throws like we're missing two, you just put a burden on yourself to play unbelievable half-court defense. You know, dominate. You know, we dominated the boards. We played great half-court defense, and we shot well. But if you're going to turn it over and miss free throws, it's going to be very difficult on you to play as well as you need to.
Do you think it's concentration, pressing too hard?
I don't know. I got to call the turnover doctor. I have no idea.
Jeff, you think because so many guys have come from different systems that it's going to take a little longer to gel offensively than you had previously thought?
You know, I get asked that a lot. I don't buy it. Because when you travel, that's not because you don't know who's on the floor or you dribble, you know, you miss dribble. I don't think it's who you're playing with. Maybe the passing turnovers, you may be correct. I don't know, but, you know, thinking a guy's going to be one place and he's another, but not some of the turnovers. I don't think some of the turnovers have anything to do with newness. But I think you do tend to press after a while because it is such a big point of emphasis. You know, so sometimes you're saying, I'm not going to turn it over, and you end up turning it over just by the thought of, you know, that. So.
So the passing turnovers just not catching them.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's why I don't believe it's newness necessarily. Because I think with John, when some new player throws it to another new player or an older player who's been here throws it to another older player, I don't think they know who it's coming from. So I mean, it's, you know, I've never bought that theory, but, you know.
What about the intensity of your team today? Do you think the intensity is there?
Our intensity? Yeah, it's tremendous. Held them to 37% field goal shooting. You know, everybody always wants to make it an intangible thing when you don't, you know, when you don't look as good as maybe people would like you to. We're playing very hard. We just got to play better because you don't win in this league just by playing hard. You got to play hard and smart and together consistently.
Jeff Van Gundy had the option to play John Starks off the bench, and so far it's been a real key to the Knicks' success this season. We'll have Michael Kay with us when we come back.
The New York Knicks post-game report is brought to you in part by British Airways, the world's favorite airline, and by American Express. Wherever you are, whatever you are doing, American Express helps you do more.
Debut, as Bob mentioned, he missed the entire preseason after suffering a fractured right leg. He will play tonight, although probably will be a short stint. But the Knicks are delighted to have him back. And John, tonight a milestone night for the Knicks because Patrick Ewing is only 6 points away from hitting 20,000 for his career, and he'll become the 24th player in the history of the NBA to hit that mark. And Ewing, over the first 9 games, has played extremely well.
Yes, he has, Marv. The signs were there right from the beginning of preseason. He's played exceptionally well. He's playing young. He's looking young and playing with a great deal of enthusiasm. And it has continued on a consistent basis throughout the early part of this season. Now, against the Timberwolves on Saturday, Patrick was right in gear. Face-up, jump shots, swoosh. No problem for Patrick. When he had a chance to post up throughout the game also, with no double team, he's really tough. Double team got there a little bit too late. And then with 38 seconds to go in the game, Larry Johnson made an unselfish pass to Ewing, who came through big time, giving the Knicks a 4-point lead at a most crucial moment of that game. Now, for this season, he's among the league's leading scorers already at 23 a game, shooting the ball over 50%, a double-figure rebounder, and he's had 20 or more points in 7 straight games right now. So Ewing right on target. All he needs now is a little help for the Knicks to go undefeated the rest of the season.
Of course. And John always capturing the moment. With Shaquille O'Neal at another address out in the West Coast, Brian Hill of the Orlando Magic going with a second-year man, and David Vaughn as the starting center, and he's been using Ronnie Cycli coming off the bench, and it's worked well to this point.
Yes, it certainly has. This team needed big man scoring badly, and they got it on November 2nd in that trade with Golden State for Cycli. And coming off the bench, he's done a nice job. He's got the long arms. He certainly knows how to score. He's been doing that for a long time now in the NBA. He also knows to work pick and rolls. Beautiful finish on that play against Toronto in their last game. And with Horace Grant drawing a double team, well, Cycli's a good target. Again, he finds his way to the basket as he has done throughout his career, particularly well against the Knicks, by the way. Now, in the 4 games he's been with Orlando, he has been okay, but in the last 2, he's been terrific at 15 points a game, shooting the ball well, double-figure rebounder, and Cycli undoubtedly will move into the starting lineup one of these games, but so far so good for Brian Hill with Cycli coming off the bench.
And over the years, Cycli, as a member of the Miami Heat and Golden State Warriors, has usually played well against Patrick Ewing, his one-time foe in their days in the Big East, Cycli at Syracuse and Ewing at Georgetown. When we come back in a moment, John will be talking with Chris Childs, who will make his Knick debut this evening. Back with that shortly. Right now, we go back to Bob Page.
All right, thank you, Marv. You guys touched briefly on the Knicks' narrow victory over Minnesota this past Saturday. Now we have a further look at the highlights in detail, shall we say. And we do this on what we call our Discover Playback Payback. How about Tom Gugliotta, the Huntington, Long Island native, who never, ever seems to play well against the New York Knicks in Madison Square Garden. Googs pushing with Larry Johnson. Yes, he led them with 19 points, but shot just 6 for 19 in the game. Minnesota played New York much tougher than most people would have expected in this one, right from the get-go. Terry Porter comes up with a loose basketball, and he pushes it inside to Stojko Brankovic. The T-Wolves led 23-22 after the opening quarter. In a second, Kevin Garnett passes outside to James Robinson, who nails the 3. Jeff Van Gundy and the Knicks down 2 at halftime. In the third quarter, Patrick Ewing working the baseline will hit the short jump shot en route to game-high honors of 26 points and 15 rebounds. Then late in the third quarter, John Starks, who had 13 points off the bench, with a steal, drives down and scores right at the buzzer. The Knicks still were down 3 going into the fourth. At home against Minnesota, Charlie Ward in transition finds John Wallace. The rookie slams it home, his only 2 points of the game. Meanwhile, Gugliotta was keeping Minnesota close, drives the lane, hits the off-balance shot, and this tied it at 75. Then Larry Johnson continued his battle with Gugliotta as Minnesota coach Flip Saunders looked on. Here, he rejects Goog's jump shot. With the game then tied, you'll see Charlie Ward drive and hit a tough bank shot, and that put the Knicks up by 2. Jeff Van Gundy about ready to breathe a sigh of relief on the sidelines. Knicks up 3 in the closing moments. Gugliotta with a chance to tie it. He misses off the iron, and the Knicks hold on to their much too narrow 82-79 victory over the Minnesota Timberwolves. Later on in this program, we'll be talking to new New Jersey Nets head coach John Calipari about what is becoming a growing controversy over the status of his contract with the Nets. We'll be back right after this.
You're watching NCS Cannon Knicks Game Night on MSG Network.
Right this way, Mr. Harrison. Here's your junior suite. Oh, excuse me. Right over here, sir.
This is your lights?
Oh, and this is the famous Budweiser beer. Our exclusive Beechwood aging produces a taste, a smoothness, and a drinkability you'll find in no other beer at any price. At any price. At any price. Thank you, sir. Enjoy your stay in New York.
New York? How well do you know your Bud?
Know your Bud.
24-valve V6, front-wheel drive, traction control. More horses than BMW 528i. Millennia, elegance and grace captured in steel. Millennia.
97 Explorer is certainly getting a
MCS service.
Welcome once again to our MCS Cannon Knicks game night. As tonight the Knicks take on the Orlando Magic at the Arena. This contest, as we told you earlier, will mark the debut in a Knicks uniform of Chris Childs, the former New Jersey Nets starting point guard who was signed to that big money free agent contract in the offseason. The Knicks took a gamble on Childs. He has not had much more than an outstanding season or two in the NBA, and he's a recovering alcoholic, age 28. Now Chris Childs coming off 8 weeks worth of recovery time from a broken bone in his leg. Chris making his debut, as we mentioned, just a short time ago. He spoke with MSG's John Andreas on our Cannon Possibilities segment.
Thank you, Bob. Well, Chris Childs, welcome back to the Knicks officially. Tonight's your first game as a member of the team. First question would be, how do you feel right now? And really, what do you expect out of your legs tonight? How many minutes would you say?
Well, I'm not sure. That's up to Jeff to decide. I probably can go 15, 20 minutes. Can't really expect a lot. You know, I have to go out there and get my wind back. I don't have my legs. I wasn't able to use them for 6 weeks, so it's kind of difficult to come out and think that you're going to, you know, be fantastic or try to just turn the world around. But I can't. I'm not expecting that. I just want to go out there and play hard. The minutes that I get, I want to make them sufficient minutes and help this team win a ball game.
How many times have you been practicing with the team before tonight?
I think I got in four practices. I did a lot on my own with Greg Brittenham, my strength and conditioning coach. That really helped me get to the point I am now, to where I have confidence that I can go out there and compete and play well.
Have you forgiven Charlie Ward for banging into your leg?
It's part of basketball. Those things happen. When it initially happened, I just didn't expect it to be a fracture. I thought it was just a regular deep, you know, Charlie horse, and I'll be okay in a couple of days. So me and Charlie, you know, good friends. We help each other out, give each other advice. So that's part of basketball that you have to deal with.
Chris, you've been sort of an assistant coach now, wearing your very fine clothing, by the way. We've been checking you out from game to game on the bench. You see a lot when you sit on the bench, as you certainly know. What do you feel that you can bring to the team that will help the Knicks play a little bit more effectively?
Well, just a little more energy to change the tempo. I think we need to get up and down the court a little more, get easy baskets. Because in the NBA, most defenses are great half-court defensive teams. And you have to try to get as many easy baskets as you can, because scoring on the half-court is real difficult. So I'm just going to try to come in and do the same things that Charlie's been doing, but just try to push it, change the tempo just a little more to get us some easy shots.
But Chris, as far as shooting goes or passing, which do you favor? Which do you feel is more important for you coming into the lineup now?
Well, it just depends on what's needed. You know, a lot of times with the players that we have with Patrick and Larry, who are great low post players, they get double teamed a lot. So my job is to hit the open jump shots when needed. But it all depends on the tempo of the game. If things aren't going well, as a point guard, you have the balls in your hands, so you can make all the decisions. And if it needs for me to shoot, then I can. But I love to see the expressions on teammates' face when you give them a nice pass and they make a dunk or a layup and they're all happy. That's my enjoyment.
Chris, also you've been cited, of course, by Knicks management and people who played against you for your defensive play. Is the energy level such that for you to be at your best defensively, you're okay right now?
Well, I'm not sure, because in a game situation, it's a lot different than it is in practice. The adrenaline is flowing. It's a lot more energy, a lot more things going on in a full 40-minute basketball game. So I still take pride in my defense. I don't care how hurt I am. I take it personal when a guy scores on me or scores on my teammates. So that's still going to be the main thrust of how I approach my game.
Chris, you're looking like a very cool guy, but I would think very possibly wearing a Knicks uniform for the first time that your heart might be pounding a little extra harder tonight than it has in your basketball career. Would I be honest in saying that?
I'm not sure yet. I don't feel anything right now. It might be different come game time. It might be different when we go back to New York, but I learned a lot growing up. This is really not pressure. You know, this is a game that we enjoy playing, and we should approach it like that and not let it become more so than that.
Well, Chris, we welcome you back and wish you the very best, and thanks on this very big night for taking a few minutes with us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Okay, let's go back now to Bob Page.
All right, Chad, and coming up next, we go around the rest of the National Basketball Association, including that chat with John Calipari about what is going on with his contract status over in New Jersey with the Nets. Stay tuned.
MCS Canada Knicks Game Night is brought to you in part by your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealer. There's only one Jeep, and it's only at your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealer.
Six-game Western road trip at Denver tonight, Sacramento at Portland against P.J. Carlesimo and the Blazers, and the Los Angeles Lakers 7-3 out of the chute with Shaquille O'Neal take on the Warriors at the Oakland area. That's actually playing in San Jose this year, aren't they? Well, last night, Sacramento going up against Vancouver, and some local players had key roles down the stretch. That's former Syracuse star Lawrence Moten in the fourth quarter. He had 12 in a starting role, and ex-Syracuse star Billy Owens with that tip in. Game tied at 17. Owens led Sacramento with 17 points and 10 rebounds. Then Owens with a baseline jumper. A minute to play. Sacramento goes up 2. Greg Anthony, the former Knick, with a jump shot at the buzzer to win the ball game. Fadeaway, in and out. Anthony, 9 points, 10 assists, but Vancouver lost again. They are now 1-10 on the season. Well, what is new with the New Jersey Nets these days? They have at least one victory, of course, to show for the John Calipari era, an era that has gotten off to a very shaky start. As if the 1-5 Nets record under Cal is not bad enough, and a near certain, by the way, 1-6 is coming up next with the Nets playing at Detroit on Thursday night. Calipari still has not signed his contract. Well, technically he has signed his contract with the Nets, but we learned today that there are several other things that have to be signed, several things that have to be resolved and just have not been done so yet. John Calipari wants an out in his deal, just in case the New Jersey Nets do not follow through on all the various promises they have made him. Also, and this is a big issue, he wants what they say is an offset clause, that if he gets fired, the Nets must pay his big contract, even if he gets another coaching job during the time of the contract itself. The Nets have adamantly refused to do this. So, Kendall Gill and the Nets put on a brave front as they go through practice on days like today, not really knowing the status of their brand-new head coach. The two sides are at loggerheads over the contract language. Cal discussed it today.
The reason I wanted that was because this is the way it is, this is the way it's going to be. I didn't want that to change, because in year 3, if that changed, I will say, good, I'll exercise my option to leave then. If we're not going to pay for these free agents and we're not going to spend the money on salaries like you told me we would, then I can leave. These guys have been honest and upfront, and everything they told me they'd do, they've done. So I don't ever think that's going to be an issue. But it's nice to have that there if they're not going to do the things that we've talked about to build this organization. We've taken steps back only because we're going to take step forward. Now, if we're not going to take those steps forward, then I don't want to be a part of it. But we will. And they've committed to that. And that's what the 3-year out is for. It's not for anything for me to leave. It's to hold people to the commitments that have been made. An offset, if they want to fire me, okay? They want to be able to recoup some of their money if I get another job. That's what an offset is. It's about being fired. And I'm like, why are we talking about this? You know, well, if I waive a player, I have to eat a lot of money, and so if, you know, if I'm fired without cause, are you saying I shouldn't receive the money? I mean, that's the issue. But I mean, it's nothing. It will be worked out, and it'll be worked out where both of us will feel comfortable. Every deal I've ever done with anybody has been a win-win. I feel good, they feel good. I'm not trying to do anything to hold anybody up. I'm not. I'm just not dealing with it. And when it comes to the point where we need to sit down and say, okay, what's fair? Then I'll do what's fair. I'll do what's fair, what's right for New Jersey, and I'll do what's right for me and my family. I'm not going to put us in jeopardy, and I'm not going to encourage anybody to fire me, because obviously if they did, I'm young enough to go get another job. And they know that, and I know that.
I don't understand why John Calipari is talking about this stuff. It is very, very unbecoming. It looks like right now he's trying to set the stage or something for leaving New Jersey if this losing continues and if he doesn't think he likes professional basketball. So right now this is not a good reflection on him or the New Jersey Nets as an organization. In fact, despite the presence of good guy Michael Rowe over there who thought it might turn things around from a front office standpoint, it looks like it's business as usual with the sad sack Nets, doesn't it? We'll close out on MCS Cannon Game Night after this final timeout. And Shaw and the former Knick, Gerald Wilkins, in the backcourt. And now stay tuned as New York Knicks basketball live here on MSG comes up next from Orlando.
We welcome you to the Orlando Arena in Orlando, Florida, as we get ready for the New York Knicks and the Orlando Magic, about to meet for the first time this season. A look at the Atlantic Division standings. Knicks 7-2, Magic at 4-1 of the early going. For those of you scoring at home, the Knicks are one game in front, although Orlando has the better percentage. Hi, everybody. I'm Marv Albert, along with John Andres. And the big news for the Knicks, point guard Chris Childs will make his Knick debut tonight, coming off that fractured right leg. He missed the entire preseason. He'll give it a shot tonight, although Jeff Van Gundy says he'll probably get limited minutes, but the Knicks are certainly very happy to see Chris Childs back in uniform and ready.
Yes, he impressed the Knicks so much they gave him that big 6-year contract, Marv, and now they're very happy to see him back to provide leadership and experience. That's what he brings to the table. He's very enthused about being back. The Knicks are looking forward to seeing him, as I say, and Chris Childs is a low-key guy, but he's raring to go and show the Knicks what he has. Chris Childs missed, of course, the first 9 games of the season, and although it's not too late for him to get going.
All right, Orlando off to the good start, and they come off a win over Toronto on Saturday night, thanks to a sensational all-around performance by Nick Anderson.
Yes, Nick Anderson, this franchise's all-time leading scorer, now in his 8th season. Now without Shaquille here, he's playing freely and bringing this team a lot of scoring and all of his many abilities, including defense. You can see against Toronto on Saturday, that breakaway steal, a very, very important bucket in that game. Nick Anderson also an excellent outside shooter, always a three-point threat. And against Toronto with 26 seconds to go in the game, he made the 3 that iced the game. Nick Anderson in fine form coming in tonight. This season, over 17 a game, shooting the ball well, rebounding, and he comes off also that 25.11 rebound effort in that win Saturday night against Toronto.
All right, so coming up, it's the Knicks and the Magic from the arena in the Magic Kingdom. We'll be back with the lineup in a moment.
This is the famous Budweiser beer. We know of no brand produced by any other brew who scotch so much to brew an ace.
Our exclusive Beechwood aging.
Produces a taste, a smooth. Hey, I was reading that.
Smoothness and drinkability you will find in no other beer at any price.
Hey, New York.
How do you well know your bud?
How well do you know your bud?
Know your bud.
Serious.
It was a sign. Them zeros. Then it all made sense. I was
the Orlando Magic to be introduced to the crowd here in Orlando. Closed captioning, as always, brought to you by Empire Blue Cross and Blue Shield, the best of health. And we're set for the introduction of the lineups.
The other forward, 6'9", from Virginia Union, number 34, Charles Oakley. At center, 7 foot from Georgetown, number 33, Patrick Ewing. And one guard, 6'6", from Tennessee, number 20, Allen Houston. And at the other guard, 6'2", from Florida State, number 21, Charlie Ward. The trainer of the Knicks is Mike Saunders and Tim Walsh. The assistant coaches, Don Chaney, Brendan Malone, Jeff Nix, and Tom Thibodeau. And the head coach of the Knicks is Jeff Van Gundy. Tonight's JCPenney champion honorary ball kids are Shannon Ronsky and Victoria Watkins. Thanks for helping us out tonight. And now, ladies and gentlemen, stand and cheer your Atlantic Division champion, Orlando Magic. And one guard, 6'6" from Tennessee, Chattanooga, number 21, Gerald At the other guard, 6'6" from UC Santa Barbara, number 20, Brian Shaw. At center, 6'9" from Memphis, number 42, David Vaughn. And one forward, 6'6" from Illinois, number 25, Nick Henderson. And at the other forward, 6'10" from Clemson, number 54, Forrest